Greetings and salutations and welcome to Flintlocks and Fireballs, where a handful of mad actors will attempt to survive the treacherous waters of Dungeons and Dragons. I am your host and Dungeon Master Jason Phelps, and I am joined as ever by Robbie Pony Express Bellekom, Sam Pizza Express Burns, and Ellie Express Non-Delivery, because deliveries are very difficult right now, Sparrow.
Yeah! Difficult deliveries.
Difficult, but nevertheless essential.
Yeah.
It's a hard time.
It's just day 8 of me and Jason being in self-isolation.
Day 8 of self-isolation. Yep.
We haven't worn shoes or used our house keys in 8 days.
Yeah.
Which I know are weird things to fixate on, but that's genuinely what I'm thinking about most today.
Yeah, that's what does it for us. Yeah. That was the going
the sticking point.
And don't get me wrong, I know that there are people who are actually housebound, and I have such appreciation for how cool those people are.
You really are.
Like, genuinely.
Like, because
it's hard, and you're really, really cool.
We have in this time developed something of a fascination in window watching as well, because we literally can't leave our balcony. That's the only outside space we have. We're up on the 3rd floor as well.
It's a very small balcony.
And there are at least 2 people who like to come down our street and conduct their conversations at length across the length of the street.
Yeah, so we've
shouting.
We've been very confused by this. Anyone who's close to us will know of this debacle because we talk about it all the time because we don't go outside right now. But basically there's this man who comes past and shouts Fiona at regular intervals. We've lived here for 2 years. Fiona guy, yeah, you know. We've lived here for 2 years and he comes past every day and shouts Fiona, like,
I feel like the Fiona shouting really only started about 3 months ago.
No, fair enough.
They used to shout. They used to be like a whole group of them, and they would shout generally.
But the Fiona thing has been a regular recurring thing. So when the coronavirus started, he stopped coming for a while, and we were kind of concerned. Also slightly pleased because there wasn't this random guy shouting Fiona at all hours, which was nice. Then he came back and started shouting for Nigel and Layla, and we were like, "Where's Fiona? Is she okay? Does she have the coronavirus?" We were worried about Fiona for a bit. Then he started shouting for Fiona again. Then he started begging for Fiona. Now, today, we think we actually saw Fiona for the first time.
Because they proceeded to have a 7-minute long argument in the street outside while we were having lunch.
But the thing is, with this Fiona guy, he walks up and down the street shouting Fiona, and occasionally this woman comes, and they walk up and down the street like opposite ways, having an argument and crossing over the street at all directions and never actually leaving, and we've been very confused by this for the whole time. And today, we realised they were waiting for their drug dealer and trying not to look like they were hanging around.
Yes.
Because we saw them do a drug deal through the car window.
Yep,
we were like, we're stupid.
Yep, the point.
That would make a lot of sense.
There was a quick exchange through a car window. We assume it was drugs. It could have been that they were trading rare Beanie babies.
It could have been, or toilet roll.
Yeah, or toilet roll. Who goodness knows at this point.
Yeah.
But it was very exciting. It was today's soap opera while we were eating lunch. We peered over our balcony like little old women. It was great.
Speaking of today, it's time to ask questions about tomorrow by demanding, future us, what messages from the present? It's Future Jason with messages from the present. Listen up for a spot from our friends over at the D&D Grandma and the family that came us together during the break this episode. This episode of Flintlocks and Fireballs is brought to you, once again, by you. A massive thanks to our crew members on the Flintlocks Patreon who help keep this ship sailing. Don't forget, there is a wealth of extra content and bonus features for patrons, including regular blog posts, extra stories narrated by the cast, artwork, and a monthly poll to help design an element to go into the game. You can check it out at patreon.com/Flintlocks and Fireballs. Link in the description. We've been featured in issue 31 of Dragon Plus. We were interviewed as part of Cool Britannia, a piece about streaming D&D in the UK, as well as in streaming highlights. And you can find out more by heading to dnd.dragonmag.com and checking out the latest issue of Dragon Plus. As with our last few episodes, we'd also like to mention the recently launched online group heist game Agent Venture, where you and your socially distant friends can infiltrate a corrupt corporation's HQ with nothing more than a laptop and an internet connection. Ellie and I both worked on development for this, and will both be GMs for the game, so you can check out the link in the description. And that is once again it for announcements this time. Back to you, Past Jason. Future Us is about 5 weeks ahead at this point, so they may still, I don't know what state the Fiona saga is going to be like at this point. By the way,
oh my god, is Future Us updated on the Fiona saga? I want that update.
I'm waiting
with bated breath for that update.
Future Jason, update on Fiona saga. Quick update from Future Jason. No significant updates on the Fiona saga. All is well. All is Fiona. Fiona. No promises. Who knows what will have come of that, or if we will finally know this man's name.
I think his name might be Imi, but we're not sure.
But we're not sure.
We don't go outside.
Yes. We can't go outside for another 7 days. And on that cheerful note, I think it's time to double down on our isolation by plunging into the fantastic world of Flintlocks and Fireballs. Our land stands on the sabre's edge.
Our cities are a powder keg.
Brother chains brother, no one's free. A life on land is short, you'll see.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.
Previously on Flintlocks and Fireballs, the party have arrived in the 13 colonies, a stretch of eastern Sunder controlled by the Osirian Empire. They're colonies, in fact, though not peaceful, contented colonies. The party have already witnessed signs of dissent, of growing movements against imposing taxes and tariffs. They've also met members of the Achin, those who lived in Sunder prior to the arrival of the Jovan colonists as well. And, of course, they made their way to Herbertsville to begin seeking out Michael John Boot, the husband of Leah Leodon. Finding him actually in Herbertsville, and to their great surprise, no longer enslaved, they accompanied Michael along with his surprisingly capable and handy coachman, Oswald. Bushy moustache, bowler hat, doesn't talk a lot. Strangely communicative. They began the day-and-a-half-long journey back towards the Von Spearthrust farm, a cotton plantation in the area which recently released all of its slaves on account of Michael inheriting the entire thing from the previous owner, one Percival Vandersar, who apparently hated his entire family so much that he deliberately left them out of the will. Regardless, it seems that along the way, the party ran into an ambush laid by none other than heavily wanted outlaw Mildred Millhill, a halfling, it would seem, wizard and bandit, along with her cadre of no less than 60 cavaliers. now reduced by 14 after an explosive interaction, which resulted in some spectacular cart effects that would not be out of place in some sort of fast, furious chase. Nevertheless, by
Not too fast or too furious.
no. Got to watch out for the got to watch out for the draconic drift there.
Yes.
So the I had a vision of you like scrying on the future and seeing these movies with just like ripped dragonborn Vin Diesel-esque character.
Spin the eyes.
Vin Diesel.
Show me the Fast and the Furious, the film. I want to watch it all. Use all my scries for like weeks on getting through one, but it's only 10 minutes at a time. Show me the next 10 minutes of the Fast and the Furious film.
I mean, you
Don't do all the other ones. Show me Too Fast, Too Furious.
You
minute
wanted to
9.
know what Olga was doing with the eye for hundreds of years, and now you have your
That's
answer.
what it is. Yeah, we've solved the mystery. That's what it is.
Anyway. Spectacular cart chases notwithstanding, however, Millhill escaped, no relation, by the skin of her teeth, having encountered... yes, indeed. Having made good plans upon realising that they were mages, but bad plans, or plans that were invalidated upon the realisation that someone is around who can just break the laws of magic.
Whoops.
Nevertheless, she has survived for now. The party are now, having conducted some makeshift mending style repairs to the cart and miraculously saving both horses, with the aid of a phantom horse assisting pulling one rein while a healthy horse pulls another. Well, healthier horse, and a very injured horse limps along. It's barely saved through magic. The party make their way the rest of the way towards the Von Spearthrust plantation. By the way, your backpacks currently have 13 severed heads in them, which honestly, combined with the midnight blue bondage gear and the sexy nun's outfit that you still have, are painting a very weird picture to anyone who goes through your things.
Well,
Yeah,
they shouldn't be going through my things then, should they?
Do you still have that demon helm?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. The whole plate armor was too heavy to take, but you took the helm.
That's where the goat lord thing came from.
Yeah.
It's really sweet.
So, with the gentle, if now slightly rickety rattle of the wagon's wheels having been reattached. The wheels themselves, by the way, are completely intact. They weren't around during that whole race. The wagon was going via hover disc.
It's got to be the only part of the wagon that is intact now.
Yes. The rest of the wagon, it has been smashed, burned, riddled with bullet holes, and then repaired through magic. So weirdly, although a lot of these holes are now sealed, they look like they have scars. Like there are now like weird curved wood knots in the places where the bullet holes were. Where it was burned, the wood is kind of repaired over with a strangely knobbly texture. So, yeah, it needs probably more than a new paint job.
I'm going to do a Song of Rest because I am a bard and that's an ability I have.
That's a good idea.
I never do it.
Just that.
Song of Rest goes, ow, 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 ow.
Corzin will join you with an ow.
Very nice harmony. Yes, everybody join in. Ow.
Actually, I'm not doing too bad.
Yeah, good for you, you little shit. Ow.
Michael goes, don't get me wrong, I'm glad, but Oswald just gives you a flat look.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
He ruffles his moustache in an unappreciative manner and returns to handling the reins.
Find a D8. So that's
I
7
feel really
for everybody.
bad.
Hey.
Why do you feel bad? What did you do? You didn't do anything.
I sent a cart spinning in a big old fiery mess.
Yes, but you didn't mean to. It was an accident.
Yeah, but I still did it.
Well, I probably would have done the same thing, so I can't be too angry with you. It was a split-second decision.
Yeah, but I nearly killed Michael. Everyone else did really well.
It's okay, we have some
Sorry,
Phoenix
Michael.
down, so it would have been fine.
Michael, who now has several partially healed bullet wounds and one wound where just like a spar of wood went into just in between his ribs, narrowly missing a lung. It has since been pulled out and magically provided some healing. Kind of just goes, I'd probably have been dead without, so thanks.
Michael, you look like shit. You need some more healing.
I mean, if you've got any more, I'll
I've
take
got
it.
loads. Have some. Does anyone else need any more?
No,
I do.
I'm fine.
Ow, everything fucking hurts.
Leah sort of raises her hand. It's fine. She's taken, Corzin has already been using his healing kit.
I've used 5
Yeah.
doses of the healer's kit.
She's applying. She's with distressingly expert skill already bandaging and treating her injuries and assisting Corzin as well. We'll be all right. Sorry, we'll be all right.
Are you sure?
I've lived through worse than this.
Yes, but that doesn't mean you should. Every time it happens.
True, but really, with the magic already in and the ointments.
Right. Oswald, do you need anything?
Oswald, who has just had one, he's got a sleeve rolled up and is just bandaged up. His whole forearm is bandaged from where where 3 musket balls impacted, briefly fractured the bone before it being reset and magically healed, and the flesh is still has kind of been stitched up underneath. Gives a bit of a shrug. Sort of ruffles his moustache in a way that you strangely interpret as meaning, well, if you have some to spare.
Do, Oswald. How much do you want? Do you want a lot or a little bit?
Just like a little
Right.
gesture with his fingers.
That is a 9 for Oswald.
The rainbow spirit briefly brushes against his forearm. And you're there's no obvious change because the slightly bandaged, the heavily bandaged, slightly bloody bandages do not change, but his holding the reins seems a little easier, and he gives you a nod of thanks.
Who looks worse, Michael or Leah?
Honestly, the pair of them are about the same.
Okay.
But you do know that Michael has had much less exposure to healing magic and thus does
It's
not
true.
have the same resistances that Leah does.
I feel more worried about Michael.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do some on Michael. So that's another 9.
And
Also
that's
some on
actually
Leah,
enough.
because I can't not. So that's another 6 on Leah.
Yeah, the last bits of the wounds seal up, leaving actually only the very faintest little white marks. The stitch.
How bad are Celestia and Scamp looking?
I'm fine.
Like so bad. Like really
Okay.
bad.
Corzin is going to put his last level 3 spell slot into a Cure Wounds.
Oh. Yeah, Celestia's like healing everybody else, but looking really awful herself and doing nothing about it. So.
But we're having a short rest, aren't
That's
we?
true.
Yes, you are having a short rest on
Song
this
of rest.
I
carriage.
rolled a 1 on one of those, but that's still 12 extra hit points.
Amazing. I will also roll some hit dice. Because I really, really need some.
Eventually, after a last couple of hours of travel, you come towards lengthy fields filled with, well, essentially rows and rows of bushes. Just trying to think about what. I said it is spring, but as I've mentioned that there are multiple harvests in a year when this happens. So, looking out, you can see in neatly laid out rows, there are acres and acres of these sort of almost brownish looking bushes. Like they have green leaves, but they look a little bit dried out in the sun, and they are just filled with. It almost looks from a distance as they blend together like snow. Just absolutely covered in little white fluffy balls. You can see there are multiple figures throughout the fields who are working with baskets to hand pick out the strands and fold them up. It looks to be a mixture of different races and species. There, you can see some humans. There is some humans. There are a number of halflings as well. There are also. I'm trying to think about this. It'd be humans. There are halflings. There are a couple of half-orcs. Not many. And you don't see any purebred orcs actually, either in the fields. You also see a number of hobgoblins and goblins as well who work in the fields as well. Many of them do bear, especially a number of the humans. Marks on their skin, which look like some of which look relatively fresh, as if a marking was burned off with a hot iron. It looks well. I mean, pausing. It looks not unlike Leah's arm did after she burned off the Rothman marking.
Figured.
As well. And they have that sort of, you recognise with the kind of redness that's still there, although they've mostly gone down. Some of these look to have been done probably certainly within the last couple of months, is how it feels to you. Nevertheless, you are able. You do kind of. People do not look up much. There's occasional glances up. One or two kind of tip their soft cloth hats as they see the carriage go by, and eventually it leads up along this narrow, actually fairly wide, dirt path towards it's pretty much a two-story manor. It's not exactly the same design as a feudal manor that you would have seen, for instance, in Wending or Sewell. There's a lot more. It has a newer build feeling to it. There's a lot more wood than stone, for the most part, and it again has that kind of vaguely Sundran colonial design, matching the same sort of appearance as, say, Thunder's Watch did, for the most part, in that it's largely white, but with occasional planes of like light pastel blues and yellows on sections of the walls. trying to think. The roof tiles, however, are actually good grey slate. Which appear to have been brought in. And as you approach, you notice there are a number of armed figures, about half a dozen, all orcs actually, who are wielding muskets. They are just they're slung across shoulders, and they haven't drawn them. They clearly recognise the carriage, although upon seeing the state of the carriage, a couple of them do draw them and kind of keep them to their side. They run up on the approach upon seeing Oswald up above and the general state of things. One of them, who is a grey-green skinned orc, and he is bald, with actually quite pronounced tusks, a little bit more pronounced than you usually get, and he comes up and says, "Oh, shit, Oswald, is the boss all right?" Oswald gives a kind of a nod and a tip of the bowler hat, and you see Michael lean out. "Oh, hello. It's all right. All right, Hank. Ran into some trouble with those bastard bandits. You know the one they've been talking about, seeing the sheriff's folks came around with the warning posters, wanted posters about. Ah, shit. Well, all right. We'll post some extra sentries in the field, boss. No worries. Oh, you've got a whole. I'll tell Marissa. Well, let's. He calls back. Oi, Yana, draw some baths. Boss looks to have been hurt, and he's got some companions with him. The kind of gives you all a respectful nod, and
I return it.
Although there's a slightly confused look, there's a slightly confused nod when he sees you, Celestia.
I'm kind of quite quiet and trying to look non-threatening and just politely nod back, but don't make eye contact for too long.
Seems a little. The confusion persists, but there are more immediate matters. Seeing the state of the carriage, and and the carriage is quickly brought up outside the house. You can see one of the what appears to be a housemaid, human woman, look kind of reddish brown hair, and seems hearing the command. This is presumably Yenna, runs into the house to make whatever preparations, but almost immediately as you are being pulled up, a halfling woman steps out as well. She is about 3'7" actually, so quite tall for a halfling. Dusky skin, brown eyes, black hair, and she's actually dressed in a manner not unlike Michael, although she's wearing a black waistcoat and trousers with a white cotton shirt and a white bow tied up in her hair. She looks over the situation before speaking. Michael, is everything okay? Yes. I was saying to Hank, we got jumped by that fucking Millhill, I think the name was. Right. And as it seems you got through thanks to the aid of... proper introduction. People are being helped off the carriage, those who want it. Oswald in particular accepts the aid. Right. Marissa, I want you to meet some some friends. This is Scamp, Corzin, Celestia.
Hello.
And
Hello.
in a bit of a surprise for all of us, I'd like you to meet my... Leah interrupts. His wife, Leah Dunn. Marissa's eyebrows raise for a moment, but she continued. But she kind of smooths over quickly. Well, welcome, one and all, and I am especially pleased to meet you. Mom, I suppose, she says to Leah. Why don't we all get inside out of the sun? You must be tired, you must be thirsty. I'll have Yenna prepare a little, what's the Jovan word? Repast for you all.
Leah gets a giggly message where Celestia just goes, Mom.
Shh!
Mom.
Celestia?
Leah. Mom.
She awkwardly kind of steps out of the carriage and Michael kind of offers an arm. After a moment's hesitation, she kind of takes it, and with the aid of as the various not really guardsmen, not really mercenaries, I suppose, armed groundskeepers fan out to keep and start keeping an eye on the fields. You are all brought inside the cool, quite airy, and well-ventilated main sort of atrium of the manor. There is a round table set up with chairs, and Marissa, and the halfling, who briefly takes a moment to go, welcome, as I say, my name is Marissa Welkin. Yes, Marissa here is my manager. Takes care of all the fine details, don't you, Marissa? Yes, I do. Speaking of which, shall I prepare... we'll prepare a slightly larger afternoon spread. That sounds about right? Yes, do that. Food, drink. We've been on the road.
Am I getting a weird vibe from Marissa at all?
Roll an insight check if you want.
Yes, please. That is... I can't count. Help me. That's a 15.
15. Marissa is... You get the impression from Marissa that she's someone who keeps her thoughts to herself. That you get a feeling of someone who is used to being that sort of professional servant feeling, or professional subordinate feeling. So she definitely seems to be presenting a very professional face to you, but it doesn't necessarily give a lot of clues to how she feels. It's kind of almost got there's like a permanent slight mix, slight caught between, expression caught between a frown and a smile on her face.
But like a guard up, definitely.
Oh, yes.
Nah, I don't poke any further.
Okay. She steps into the next room, and you are left alone for a few minutes while Marissa, Yenna, begin fussing about in the kitchen.
So there's nobody else here right now?
It's just the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of you, because Oswald, upon coming, Oswald actually tips his hat and goes off to settle the horses.
Hi, Oswald.
Tips the hat, rustles the moustache, and departs.
Jeffrey's here.
I mean, 7 if you want to go by that rules.
Yes, always.
Awkward question, but I am a drow, should I be here?
I think I understand, but
It's mostly
honestly,
for Leah and Michael, honestly.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not... No one else can really answer that. If I need to leave, I need to leave, and that's okay.
Michael looks a little uncomfortable. Looks to Leah, and she kind of says, Say what's on your mind, Michael.
Really
Look,
do, it's okay.
as far as I'm concerned, you're a decent person. You saved my life. You saved Leah's life multiple times. But... And obviously, I'll spread the word round about that, but... I don't know, maybe keep to the house.
I'm not going to go wandering around saying hello to people.
Yeah.
We won't stay too long either.
No, I don't think we should.
No. I
think we should leave soon.
Look, I don't know how to put this. There's not a good way to put it, but almost all of us came here as the result. I'd say what, like 7 out of 10 of us were here as the result of being captured. Winces a little. There's a brief flash of anger by Drow, or sold to Drow, or with Drow middle women.
Directly or indirectly, yep.
And then there's some of us who just penal service, got caught in the wrong war. Look, I've seen enough to know that you're a decent time.
But that doesn't mean everyone...
No.
It's okay. I won't stay long, because I don't want to freak everybody out. You're all comfortable here. And that's good. And it's a perfectly reasonable response to never want to talk to another drow again. It's completely reasonable, and
I'll be honest.
I don't know what to say.
Prior to meeting you, that was very much my feeling.
It's fair.
If we're being very honest, I don't know if I hadn't seen you with Leah, I don't know what I'd have done. I'd like to think I'd have come up and lamped you, but I probably wouldn't. Because the truth be told, I am shit scared of you.
Oh, shit.
I'm not... Not you, but
No,
you.
I know.
Kind of handshakes.
Do you need me to go now?
Stop it. No, I don't need you to go now. Just... Look, I don't know, if we hadn't gone through the last day, I probably wouldn't have said all this to you.
That's fair.
And don't get me wrong, I definitely think you are one good apple out of a very bad batch. But of course you can bloody well stay here and rest up and heal up. I mean, look at you. I know we've done the magic thing, but you've got to at least have a bath and a sleep. What are we, animals?
I want to say I'm sorry 3 million times, but I think anything would be insulting. I think this is where I stay quiet.
Yeah. Quiet's good. quiet is very good. Kind of stares at the table, and again there's that, like, his hand hasn't really stopped shaking, although he's kind of holding one in the other, like he's got one hand in a fist, the other wrapped around it to steady them. I accept that you're sorry.
You don't need to. You don't need to accept anything.
No, I accept that you're sorry.
Ah.
And one day, maybe with time, I'll accept your apology. But I don't know.
I can't apologise for everybody.
No, you can't.
You don't need to accept a damn thing. No amount of sorry makes this alright.
He stares for a moment.
I didn't mean to make this worse and bring it up. I just wanted to check
Shut
if you
up.
needed me to go. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet and shut up. Never been good at being quiet.
No, I can tell. Yeah, it's not great. It's not a great subject, but I suppose it was going to come up eventually. And everyone here, nearly everyone here, everyone outside this bloody fucking mansion will feel the same. But I don't know you. So what I'm saying is, get some rest, please. Take care of yourself. You're a good person, it would seem. Or at least you do good things. And you've certainly helped me. And maybe it's selfish for that to change my opinion. I don't know. I don't fucking know. But you're not all the same, are you? Obviously.
Damn fucking lot of us are.
Aye. That much is definitely true. Oh, right. That was tough, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look. As I say, I appreciate it. But any minute now, Marissa and Yenna are going to come back in with a big old lunch spread. And for the sake of a good day, let's try and put that to the side.
As I say, I just wanted to make sure you had the choice to tell me to fuck off. That's all. For now you've chosen not. If that changes, you just let me know. Because it's fair.
That it is. So, do you like ham?
Ham's fine.
She's probably going to do ham. She likes doing ham.
Great.
In the afternoon.
Ham. Oh, God.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee, always.
Tea. Coffee is evil.
I'm sure she'll bring both. What I'm saying is, if you want to get a drink in, do it now before the service arrives.
Corzin will put a bottle of the wine from his pack on the table and say, "It's not customary for a guest to turn up empty-handed," and puts it on the table.
Thank you kindly. Although,
It's a bit early, I understand, but...
Oh! Well...
We've had a bit of a trying time getting here, as I'm sure you'll agree.
Oh, it's always we've just escaped from bandits o'clock somewhere, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. It's always narrowly escape with your life somewhere. Leah reaches over, puts her hand on Michael's hands, and after a moment they release a little bit.
Still hear a quiet message. That goes for you too. If you need me to go right now, you give me a nod. Anytime. That's all.
Thank you for saying it. And no, I don't want you to go. Not yet. When it's time.
I give her a very small nod after the silent message exchange.
There is a bustling from the next room, and you watch as Yenna, the human housemaid, comes bustling in with a whole tray, just essentially decked out in like small ham sandwiches. There's like little cucumber sandwiches. There's like a little pot of some sort of chutney, some biscuits,
Sandwiches
some cheese.
And chutneys.
Yeah. There is even a small covered cake at the bottom.
Ooh.
Seems to have a sandwich of jam in the middle of it. And of course there are some pots of tea and coffee. And although as she's serving, she pours it without asking you, Scamp. Pours you a dark, slightly frothy drink, which is not coffee or tea.
What is this?
Oh, well, that's some sarsaparilla.
Oh. Thank you.
It smells like weirdly herby roots.
Is it nice?
Oh, sure. Why, I do declare it is one of the sweetest things to have.
Excellent.
Do you take a taste?
Yes.
It's actually quite sweet. It's basically root beer.
Ooh.
She starts bustling around, serving up different sandwiches to people as well. And there is actually, bringing in an additional seat, Marissa, after a brief look, stands next to the seat. Michael, who's kind of tucking into the sandwiches, looks up and goes, yeah, obviously, sit, Marissa. Thank you. She takes a seat. Looks around. Old habits. The former master was a very particular sort about his manners. Yeah. And you would not believe how much bloody effort is taken to get Marissa to stop trying to call me sir. Yes, Michael. And, she looks around a little uncertain on how to proceed. So the news has... what news from Herbertsville, Sir Michael? All sewn up. Went to the judge, Judge Peterson, and yeah, apparently the paperwork was all straightforward, and the other Vandersars haven't got a claim. Well, that's excellent news. Glad that things are proceeding well. Yeah. Speaking of which, you said you were making some adjustments here. Yes, indeed. We've instituted a new system which I believe will allow us to keep up the levels of production needed, retaining staff. With the wages we discussed, yes, of course, sir. I'm sure that it will be an equitable share of the crops, if you will. Right, I don't really understand that, but fair enough, Marissa. You take care of the details. That's right, sir.
Just getting a weird vibe from her.
Oh no!
Again, it's just that very sort of professional mask to her. There's just someone who is, again, that same feeling of just having been a servant, a professional servant or subordinate for a very long time.
Oh, I so don't want to. Not reading her mind. Yeah. Not here.
So, I was wondering. She looks to the rest of you. You encountered the bandit, Millhill, you say?
That's right.
Is there any family resemblance? She was halfling as well?
She was halfling. Give me a retroactive insight check, because you got pretty close to her. You were able to see her face.
9.
Like a not dissimilar nose, maybe? Like
Corzin did as well, can he?
Sorry. I meant. Did you mean the family resemblance between Marissa and Millhill, or Mildred Millhill and Molly? Because if you mean
not Molly, no.
Oh, I was going to say because the Millhill.
We know there might be a relationship.
I was going to say because she has a similar nose to Molly.
I don't trust this person.
Does Marissa look the same? No. Mildred was quite. She had different hair, like she had lighter hair, much lighter skin tone. Marissa kind of has this sort of facial features, and that you kind of associate as a halfling from maybe originally, whose ancestry was probably originally from like Feroz, so like that kind of, like a lot of the humans and halflings and half elves from that area.
You had a slight pause after facial features there, and so much of me wanted you to stop. Just like, she has facial features. Great.
She has a face.
That is all.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously Millhill didn't have a face.
Yeah, just completely blank.
Just a blank, white static.
Yeah.
Just blank white static. Oh, that's the worst. Although, reminding me of an old comic called Rice Boy long ago. Stowaways who've read Rice Boy, tell me. It was a lovely
Tweet
thing.
me and I'll tell Jason.
Episode as well. There was a Doctor Who episode, wasn't there?
Yeah.
There was.
Oh, yeah.
Are you sitting comfortably? Good. Then we'll begin. That one.
Oh, yeah.
Such a good Doctor Who episode.
I don't really remember it, but my skin crawls at the half memory.
I like the bit where Rose destroys the old sexist. That's my favourite bit in that. It's really good. It's really good.
But no, with the 15 for checking her, no, there is no familial resemblance between Marissa and Mildred.
Oh, she just creeps me out.
I don't like her, but I'm not reading her mind.
No.
So, but yes, Marissa has asked you how your encounter went.
I'm staying quiet.
Okay.
Like, as a decision.
She looks around to see whether Corzin or Scamp want to say anything.
Well, it was,
It was a close thing, but thankfully we're all still here to talk about it.
yeah.
That's all right. Okay. I'm curious. I understand that she usually rides with quite a significant posse.
Oh, she did.
Yeah.
About how many, would you say?
60 odd.
Quite
the number. And you prevailed despite that.
It was more
Well,
of
they're
a
down a
running
few
away
now.
than anything.
Yeah.
Well, I think we did all right.
Yeah.
She...
I mean, in a manner of speaking.
we're all alive.
Well, yeah, that was my point. Like, I think we're all here to talk about it, which, considering how many there were, yeah.
And you have definitely, rescued my employer, for which I am immensely grateful. If Michael dies, or anything happens to him, then the Van der Sar family would most definitely reclaim these estates.
Oh shit.
Alright, well, glad we could be of help on that point,
unless you have any descendants, Michael? No. Not, looks to Leah, not yet. Sorry, is that too... She's a little soon, but, it's okay. It's okay. Right, yes.
So kind of like, it's a very quiet little cough covering over a smirk.
Michael looks a little awkward. But no next of kin at this point. I guess I could... we could draw up the paperwork. I could arrange to... Could I arrange to nominate someone? We're married. He gestures to Leah. Wouldn't it transfer to Leah if anything happened to me? Maybe.
I'm not a lawyer, I'm sorry, but that doesn't sound crazy.
I can certainly have a lawyer come by and draft up some paperwork to confirm that. That would definitely assure that were anything to happen to you, it would stay out of the hands of the Van der Sars. I assume Mrs. Leah Dawn. Yes, I suppose Mrs. is appropriate.
Again, Celestia takes a big gulp of coffee to try and not laugh.
Leah is a little weirded out with the situation, but trying her best to get used to it.
Do you think the Van der Sars might, now that you've made your claim to this place official, get a little underhanded?
Yes. Obviously.
The Van der Sar family are very, very wealthy. Of course, they're now significantly less wealthy, but the other branches of the family do still hold a certain amount of clout.
All right.
Is that going to be a problem?
Well, that is why we have guards around the estates. Though I have to say the knowledge that there are 60, you say?
Less now.
Really? How many less?
How many less?
13, the number of heads you have in your bag. Thanks.
Corzin counts off on his fingers.
13, says
13.
Celestia, kicking the bag under the chair. Probably around about 13.
I had a horrible image of us just getting the heads out and counting them.
Oh no! Just like on the table.
Shall we check?
Cool.
I did say on his fingers.
Yeah.
I know, but there was a moment where I thought you were going to say on the heads.
I thought that there was a moment where you had heads on your fingers for me, so enjoy that image.
Marissa... God.
I'd run out of
with the
fingers.
finger puppets, one after the other. Oh, you have 13 now.
I do have 13
You
finger puppets.
do coincidentally
the
have 13
same number of
finger
severed heads we have.
Yes.
When did this turn into a macabre Sesame Street?
Right now. Right
One
this second.
decapitation! 2 decapitations! Wow, that laugh gets more sinister.
So much worse.
Anyway. Oh, and this is why we have the 15 plus rating.
Yes.
Ooh. So, Marissa reaches into her waistcoat pocket and unfolds a copy of the same wanted poster that you saw back in Herbertsville. Well, you certainly seem to be able to handle yourselves. I don't know if you're aware of the bounty that is currently out on Mill Hill and her associates.
We were.
Well, if you were to take care of her, it would certainly make it a lot easier to protect this estate, and also to, of course, there would be well, I'm sure that the sheriff has promised a handsome reward.
Yeah.
It's something we were giving some thought, yes.
I mean, what's she got now? 47?
Yeah.
That's a lot of
That's
people.
so many people. I mean, don't get me wrong.
The poster
They weren't
does say
that
dead
good.
or alive.
Don't get me wrong, they weren't that good, but you know, she was.
Yeah. And,
See that big
I mean,
fire snake thing? Terrifying.
that
Glad you
looked
got rid of it.
awful. It does say dead or alive on the poster, but somehow I feel like alive is harder.
Alive is so hard.
Can you imagine trying to, like, wrangle 47? No.
What would we do? Come over here, sweeties.
I mean, it would work on me.
It would work on you, but you're an actual child.
Okay, you need a little line of gold pieces into a large mouse trap. No.
He's nailed it. Perfect.
Like, there's a brief moment. Michael looks at
relax.
Marissa. What? Wait a minute. Wrong person. Wait a minute. Do we actually still have those bear traps? I believe we do have some bear traps, yes. I don't know if that would be of use to you, but...
Do you like a bear trap?
I can...
How many
I've
bear
seen one
traps do you
before.
have?
Yeah, you'd have seen a bear trap before.
How many do you have?
Oh, I feel like we probably have about a dozen or so. I'd have to... I'll get Hank to take a look. Yenna, would you mind getting Hank to check our bear trap supply? Well, I do declare, of course. She just says it all the time. It's really annoying. You just hear her mumbling it to herself periodically whenever she sees a butterfly go past. Oh, well, I do declare.
Aww. I love her.
Corzin thinks about it for a moment and says, a bear trap for a halfling is basically a decapitation device.
Ah, that was fucked up. Are you okay?
It's
Marissa nods
just
soberly.
a matter of scale.
She is also a halfling and nods soberly to this statement.
Fucking hell. You're right. It's just not good. Oh. Well, that's a disturbing thought. I mean, could we snatch her in the night or something?
I mean, we
Do
could
snatching.
try.
Got a fair idea of where they were hiding
mean-
out, at least recently.
You can do that thing where you travel really fast, right? I look at Scamp. You're super fast, yeah?
Yes.
You could grab her and go really fast and take her away.
It doesn't work with another person who doesn't want to come.
Oh, bugger. That's fair. It'd be really funny if it did, though.
I'd be doing it all the time.
I'm quite glad it doesn't. You'd take me all sorts of weird places, wouldn't you?
Yep.
Leave me up trees and shit.
Wake up in
Yeah.
the crow's nest randomly or something.
Corzin, you notice as you're having this exchange, Marissa's eyes just sort of follow between you and linger for a moment on Scamp as the pair of them talk about this before continuing to...
Okay.
Seems to have caught... some of the words seem to have caught her attention.
Has Marissa reacted at all to the presence of either the spirits that I or Celestia have?
Nope.
Okay. Just thought I'd check.
No, good shout, though. Interesting.
Nope, she does not appear to have reacted, nor do you notice any spirits around her. There are spirits around the house, as ever.
Yeah,
Right,
wandering
okay, cool.
around.
In fact, actually, I think through a couple of open doorways, you can see a small... there is actually a little... who would it be? It would be Regency. You can see a little, like a little in-house, like it's basically a tiny shrine, like just like a raised little platform with an icon of the symbol of the Regency, the crown, and just a little prayer mat in front of it.
Oh, okay.
And a couple of them are floating around that idly.
Makes sense. Well, I think that if we're going to look into this, it might be an idea to try and figure out where they're rushing back to. And
Of course.
he sort of looks across at Celestia.
And anything that we... My apologies. Sir... Michael, with your permission? Michael has a mouthful of sandwich. Yeah, sure. Whatever, go ahead. You take care of the details. Thank you. With your... we would, of course, be willing to offer whatever assistance we can. A lot of our people know the area to some degree, although we cannot at this time spare any of the house guards. We will need to keep the perimeter secure.
Quite understand.
Makes
Is
sense.
there a danger that they're just going to attack here? If they've now got a grudge, say.
If they do, this place is fortified, but I take your point, Scamp.
Marissa nods to that. Indeed, we have withstood raids in the past during Percival's time.
I mean, shoot me down by all means.
At that point, Marissa just pulls a gun at no. Treachery.
Oh, we're weird and impulsive after being inside for a long time. We're saying really weird stuff today. Would it be an awful thing if this is fortified and would be easy to say shoot out of? If we lured a few of them here and had the fight out of here, or would that get loads of people killed?
The Michael, Leah actually, and Michael both raise a finger and open a mouth at
As
the
I
same
say,
time.
shoot me down by all means.
They look between each other. Michael kind of gestures to Leah. Yes, I think that would probably be a terrible idea.
I thought so, but I said it anyway, just in case.
My first thought is, I mean, what happens if there is an attack? Well, we'd get everyone into the house, obviously, but, people can't run as fast as horses, and I'd be worried about hostages, right?
Okay, we should stop this happening before it does then, shouldn't we, really?
And Marissa nods.
Is there a chance that the awful people who want your house would hire the terrible bandits to kill you? Is that something that they do? Because it's something I thought of.
Well, if they had
So they definitely
any connection with each other.
I do always think of the worst thing, and it does always happen, so, yeah.
Well, I'd
Not
like
always,
to...
maybe 80% of the time.
I mean, the fucking curry, I'm still not
What?
over that, to be honest.
It wasn't a good curry. Carry on.
I've had a few bad curries in my time
City-ending-
too, I understand.
City-ending curry, potentially,
what?
but we nipped it in the bud.
Okay, that is a conversation for later. Anyhow...
It was very spicy. Now,
Yeah, sorry, I was going to say something. I've actually completely forgotten
Sorry.
what
carry
it was we were talking about.
Bandits being hired.
Right, yes. Would they do it? I've not actually met any of the Van der Sars, but if they're anything like Percival, I'd like to say that Percy was a bastard with a heart of gold, but actually he was a black-hearted bastard through and through.
Fair
Okay.
enough. He did us to dick
So-
on everybody else rather than because he wanted to do something nice.
That appears
More
to be
about
it, yes.
ability to do it rather than wanting to do it. If they could do it, they would.
I could have a little scry on any of them.
Again, Corzin, because your passive insight is higher than her roll. You notice Marissa has been kind of her eyes
Passive
flicking.
insight's quite good.
What is your passive insight at the moment?
14?
Oh, I need to update your passive
My
insights.
insight is +2 now, so I don't know what that makes my passive.
It's 12.
Cool.
mine's 16.
Okay, yeah, now higher than Celestia's, but Scamp, you notice this as well as Corzin then. Yeah, the pair of you notice Marissa's eyes halt for a moment on Celestia as she's commenting about scrying before continuing to rove.
Right.
But yeah, I could do that if that would help.
Just find out if that's something they're likely to do.
Yeah, that wouldn't hurt. Also, like I say, it'd be useful to find out where Mildred fled to.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we're not. Hopefully, fucking hopefully, not doing anything else today, because I don't know about anybody else, but fucking hell, I'm tired. So I could do that today. I could scry on Mill Hill and the Vandersars.
That'd probably be sensible, I think.
Maybe her first, because then if they're together, that's,
Yeah, just out of character clarification, how long ago was the altercation at this point? Like a couple of hours?
Yeah, like, you've
Right.
settled in, you've had some lunch, like 2.5 to 3 hours.
Right, okay.
Oh no shit, she's got a little fucking sanctum thingy bugger, hasn't she?
Oh, yeah.
Balls.
How about we have a bit of quiet time and a think? Work out what we want to do.
Okay.
Usually they're enlightening.
I've already given Yenna some I have already given Yenna and the other servants some instructions to prepare a bath. So, I suppose whichever one, whoever you think should go first, Michael. Oh, Michael, that's when he's moving on to the cake. Yeah, whoever really. I'll go last. It's fine. I'll just wash up in the wash basin. But yes, we have enough rooms for if you all wish to take some time to rest.
That would
Yeah,
be very
sure.
welcome, thank you.
And yes, so it is, I believe at this point, the 8th now as well.
Yes.
Of full ripeness. All right. So, if you're happy enough for the moment, you could take if you want to, you can take a long rest throughout the afternoon.
I mean, mostly I wanted to get rid of her so we could have a conversation in private.
Fair enough. In which case,
Because she creeps me out and I'm worried about
Fair
it.
enough. After finishing lunch, and it is quite a good cake, sponge cake, jam. Yes. One day, when perhaps by the time the next campaign rolls around, this particular style of sponge cake will be associated with a specific Osirian monarch, but not yet.
Aww.
The Marissa and Yen. Marissa kind of orders Yenna and a couple of other maids to clear up, and begging your pardon, goes to take care of matters. Although Hank does briefly pop his head and confirm, yeah, we got 12 bear traps. We'll just leave them out front for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
And you make your way up. You can see that Yenna has prepared a bath, and will continue to prepare baths, but also has 3 guest rooms available for you.
I feel like we all immediately pile in one for a
You
chat.
all immediately pile in one. Leah, as you kind of says, I think I'm going to spend a bit of time.
You have fun. Go for it.
Thinks from looks to Michael, looks back. I need a little bit of time here on my own, and just to. She kind of taps the side of her lips. Just to look after things a bit.
I messaged. Are you alright? Did you want something?
She messages, I need to look after Michael for a bit. He's more shaken by that than he's letting on.
We'll give you some space. Take your time. If you need anything, let me know.
She coughs to dismiss the message response and says openly, we're probably, I might, if you're planning to move tonight, I might sit this one out just to keep
Oh, I
an eye
assumed
on
you'd be
things
staying here.
Just She nods. If that's all right with the three of you, I mean, if you really need...
We'll be fine.
No, of course. You
Thank you.
take all the time you need.
Oh, thanks. Michael, why don't you take me for a bit of a, I suppose, a tour around the house, and then maybe we can look around the fields a bit? Yes, that sounds great. Let's do that. And yeah, let me wash up as well in the basin. Come on. They wander off, and you head up into one of the three rooms. It's quite a plush room. Like, not your apartments in the Palace of Justice plush, but it's a nice room, probably intended for visiting members of the Van der Sar family. So probably spitefully worse than what they were used to, but still kind of ludicrous. Like, not ludicrously comfortable, but just very comfortable. Like,
Power play comfortable.
yeah, power play comfortable, like pink cotton sheets and little draperies. Someone has painted bunnies and roses onto the side of the vanity mirror at the desk, and there is a vanity mirror and dresser.
What is it with everyone on little animals?
I have
don't
no
know.
idea.
I feel like those
Odd
bunnies are just like looking inside me.
Roll wisdom
Ugh.
save.
What?
No, I'm just fucking with you.
I despise you. I'm very tired. How dare you take advantage of me in this emotionally weakened state?
I adore you. You're a monster.
So you find yourselves alone.
Is it me or is Marissa really weird?
She's really unnerving me, and I don't like it.
I didn't want to look in her head because that felt like the dickest
you
possible
totally shouldn't.
dick fucking move here, but I really wanted to because I'm so fucking paranoid.
She's
No,
definitely not letting on all she knows, and I don't know exactly where that leaves us.
She keeps giving us funny looks when we mention anything magic.
Oh, good! Fucking hell, why is nothing ever normal? I mean, this was never going to be normal, was it?
I had an idea for a scry that is like borderline brandy levels of messing with the future, and I'm not sure if it's a good idea or bad.
Okay,
Go
tell me,
on.
I want to know.
Okay, so I'm really worried that they're going to attack this place, right? So how
Celestia
about...
lights up a pipe to have out the window like a teenager. Of
Okay, so
tobacco.
how about we decide here and now that we're not leaving until they attack?
Uh-huh.
And then we also decide that when they do attack, we say the date and time very loudly several times.
Just scream it.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we
our
scry on the
death
future to that time. And then we'll know when it is.
Now you're thinking with future vision.
Well, that's actually, like, not a shit idea. I feel like something's going to go terribly wrong, but I'm kind of here for it. We're also going to have to tie me to a chair if we do it, which should be there for consideration, but fuck it at this point.
My only thought about that is that
Just to make sure Leah or Michael don't walk in while that's happening, because this really is bad enough.
Yeah.
Imagine if I was somebody else tied to a chair and they just want...
Yeah.
But just make sure to do it while they're on their walk if we do it.
it could be weeks before they mount an attack against this place.
Yes, but if we decide to stay here...
We don't actually have to stay here, because when we've scried, we know when it's going to be.
That's
It's
fair.
true.
We only have to decide that this is definitely what we're doing right up
Yeah.
until the moment we've scried.
All right.
We can change our mind as soon as we've scried.
I
but
want to do it because
it's getting to brandy levels of we're messing with the future for our own ends now.
it is. But I'm interested to see what would happen as much as anything.
The other potential one is to scry on the moment that creepy person betrays Michael.
That's
Because
true.
if you scry and there's
over,
nothing, if you scry and there's nothing, it's fine. But but if you scry and something happens, then we know.
Scry on when she turns.
Yeah.
That's a
pretty
bit
much.
vague, isn't it?
I don't know, but if we say the moment she betrays him, that
Alright.
might be enough.
Maybe we should say the moment she betrays Michael and Leah.
Michael or Leah.
Michael or Leah. Can you do ors? I don't know if you can do ors, can you?
You're starting to add some interesting complications. Some interesting conditions at that point.
There
Maybe
is
we should say
something-
Michael, because if he betrays Leah, that's also technically betraying Michael, isn't it? Because,
Yeah.
they're married and stuff.
There is also a possibility that whatever she is planning on doing is not necessarily intended to betray Michael or Leah, but may have adverse effects on us.
Shows the next time Melissa does something generically bad.
She done a bad thing.
Shows
just
the
thinking-
next time she does a bad.
You just get a vision of Marissa kicking a puppy.
Or just swearing. I mean, it's like whatever metric you're using for that. Like, how prudish is the eye? We don't know. Marissa, just like with a slightly rough facial expression because she's thinking a bad thought. Like, what are we talking here?
Okay, how many scries have we got today? Because we've used one, haven't we?
Have we?
it we used more than one?
I can't remember, Kang.
Yeah, because we looked at where they
Hang
were
on, no.
when we woke up.
I've got one, but it's rubbed out. Why is it rubbed out? Did we do it the night before?
You did one this morning.
Yeah,
we
to
did
try
one
and
this
find out
morning.
where they were
Scribed,
laying in
yeah.
wait for us.
Yeah.
Cool.
When you found the two hallucinatory
Yeah, so we've got
trains.
2 today. So which batshit thing should we do first?
And is there anything else that's important, or is the most important things those 2 things?
I'm worried Melissa's going to murder people in the night, and I can't.
And I'm worried that they're going to attack. If we take a nap, they'll
Yeah.
attack while we're napping.
Yeah.
All right,
Both of those things will make it the easiest to sleep, to be honest.
Yeah, why
Should
don't
we
find
check
out?
no one's listening in here?
I mean, we're not sanctumed or anything.
Yeah, but like just have a look around for.
Yeah, sure.
Do you want to make an investigation check?
Can I
Yes,
just,
please.
Can I just detect thoughts around the room?
Yes, you can. Okay.
Just do like a general scan, you know?
There is indeed a mind just outside the door. You can only detect the presence of a mind, not its exact position. So, but yes, there's a mind just outside this door. The door into the room, and you can kind of loosely sense the position of different minds around the.
Can I listen to that one?
Yes, you focus in on it, and you hear an internal voice going, "Well, I do declare, I was just after some juicy gossip, but this is some weird shit."
You see Celestia start laughing and you don't know why.
What is it, Celestia?
She's laughing. I can hear laughter? I heard something about the future.
Hello!
Oh, I
You're
do
having a
declare I've been made.
We're having a nice time outside the door.
You hear some footsteps running away.
Oh, she just wanted some gossip, bless her. It was, what was her name? Not Melissa. I do declare that one. What's her name?
Oh. I'm terrible with names.
Oh, she's just I do declare in my head because I've only known her 5 minutes and she's said it at least 16 times.
Out of character, it's, is it Yessa?
It's Yenna. Yenna.
Yenna, sorry.
Yenna, that's the one.
That was it.
Well, she's weirded out thoroughly.
Oh well.
Best to leave her with a mystery rather than an explanation.
I mean, how the fuck's she going to explain that to anyone, to be honest?
Quite.
Like, fucking hell. Right, should we scry on both those things then?
Yenna, by the way, rolled
Yeah.
surprisingly high on her stealth check.
I love that she was just hoping for some, like, weird stuff from the strangers and she's heard all this shit about the fucking future. Like, bless her.
Is there a
She's having a
means-
weird day.
Is there a means of locking the door from the inside?
There is a latch.
Right. Okay. Corzin will turn it just to ensure that we aren't disturbed.
Okay. So, just thinking what you do. So you've used detect thoughts to get the general of the area. You've closed the latch. Cool.
I'm just gonna have a look for spy holes as well.
Make an investigation check.
Spy holes.
Ooh.
Decent. 19.
I don't need to help Kraken. Still smoking out the window.
You don't find a spy hole. You do discover that one of the cabinets swings open.
Ooh.
And there is a narrow passageway behind it.
Did you find a secret passage?
I found a secret passage.
Can we go down it right now?
I suppose?
Yes, we're going down the secret passage. Come on, adventures.
How big is it?
It's going to be a tight fit for Celestia, but just enough to squeeze through. It seems to run down the side of the wall. Now that you look at it, actually, the wall here is a little bit closer to than might necessarily be suggested by the sizes of the rooms. So it's like I want to say like 2 foot wide, so you kind of have to go like sideways down it.
I've only got 5th and 6th level spells left. If anything happens, I'm just gonna like murder someone. Like if I cast a spell.
Okay.
Just
So-
completely like disintegrate.
Yeah, this is definitely narrow enough for single file. So who would like to go first?
Height
go
order.
first. I'll go
Yes.
first.
That way everyone can see.
Yes, always sensible.
Okay, so Corzin, you proceed down the little.
Let's go quietly in case it leads to somewhere else interesting.
Okay,
Yes.
Give me, everyone, give me a stealth check.
Okay.
Ooh, nope.
It's 13.
Also 13.
16.
Okay.
Okay, like not terrible.
Slip you down the sideway. It carries down close towards where the end of where the exterior wall is, and it turns to the side, and it seems to continue onwards. And at the end of it, following through, keeping an eye out as you go through, there's just like the dim amount of light filtering in from the open, secret door. So it's actually quite hard to navigate for Corzin, but the other two, it's not hard to navigate. It's a straight passageway, essentially with some turns, but it gets pitch black up ahead for you, Corzin, until you reach the end of it, where there is a little chamber. It's like a little chamber where one person could stand comfortably. And Corzin, all of you can see a very faint, thin line of light, where marking what seems to be another way out. Corzin, you cannot see this. Scamp and Celestia, you can see on one wall, this little cubby hole, on some pegs, is you can't see the colour, but some part of you feels that it has to be midnight blue. Human-sized gimp suit, a coiled,
Always.
a sort of coiled. I mean, you've never seen a set of nunchucks before. But it looks kind of like a flail joined by a three-part flail, joined by some little metal links. What is definitely an array of leather dildos.
Oh, come on.
Oh wow, it's a sex dungeon.
What?
And like one of those like
I light it up with dancing lights so Corzin can see.
and one of those like very dinky little. It's not like a full cat o' nine tails. It's like the ones that are like 2 foot long at most. Like the ones that are just about large enough for you to smack a bottom with.
Saints, damn it.
Well,
I hate to say it, but this is a really good place to do a scry. No
It
one's
is,
going to
isn't it?
walk in on us here.
You can also
I
now
hate that you're right, Scamp.
you can also now clearly see.
I do have an objection. Because the thing is, after this scry, what do we have to do, right? I'm going to the future. So we have to tie me to a chair and
There is rope.
make me be other people. What happens if somebody finds you two tying me to a chair in a sex dungeon?
Are there
That's
any other
true.
entrances
There is
to this
also
room?
there is another secret door here as well.
I mean, it's really funny, but also, I mean, it is a really good place for a scry, isn't it?
I am a child. That
You-
would go down very
Very,
badly.
very badly. Yeah.
Corzin just puts his head in his hands.
I mean, I think we can scry here. Maybe we should tie me to a chair somewhere else. Just
I
so
agree.
that there's not horrible,
There's just
worrying
some lines you don't
connotations.
want to cross with this.
No, definitely not. But maybe we do the 2 scries here, and then you can tie me to a chair in
Right.
the bedroom.
I am curious to see
So much
where that
better.
other
Fucking hell.
entrance goes. It must be to one of the other rooms, mustn't it?
Yeah, should we have a look?
Let's go and have a look.
Okay, it's easy to. It takes a little bit of effort, but you push it aside, and you reveal a wider, more opulent-looking bedroom, 4-poster bed, some hangings down it. What appears to be the master bedroom.
Of course.
This is an affair passageway.
Well, I wonder if Michael knows this is here. I would imagine not, because he's only just inherited the house.
Yes, and I think it might
I
be more
feel-
awkward to tell him.
No, I think it's our duty to tell him.
No, I think he really needs to know, but I don't want to say it. So, Corzin, it's your job because Scamp's a child. So enjoy
You are
that.
our designated adult.
Yeah. I don't think it's right coming from me. You know,
No, I quite understand
on
your
like
point of view.
multiple horrifying levels, to be honest.
Corzin's expression is unreadable.
I want to try and read his expression. Can I do an
Make
insight?
an insight check. Corzin, make a deception check.
Okay.
Oh shit!
this
You have to
deception's
roll
not gr-
pretty
oh,
bad.
I think I have. That's a 6.
Mine was a 4.
Corzin's expression is indeed unreadable.
Amazing.
Oh no, Jeffrey, come back!
All right, so
Jeffrey,
Jeffrey,
Don't
don't
touch
touch
that.
that.
yeah, Jeffrey already has the tiny cat of 9 tails to complement his tiny knife.
put that back, Jeffrey.
Oh, Jeffrey, really
Jeffrey?
don't know where that's been, darling.
I'm worried that I do know where that's been. Oh, Jeffrey, put it down.
Jeffrey gives it an experimental sort of smack against the floor.
Jeffrey, I'm so freaked out. Just casually clean it with prestidigitation and hope no one notices that I've done it.
Something brushes off it.
Oh no!
Oh, fucking hell.
It's probably
Whoa.
dust.
Okay.
Let's
There
hope
is
it's
certain
dust.
here.
Sure, it's Scry. No, we should check where this... Oh, we've done the entrance. Is there any other entrances? There's not, is there?
Nope, this is a 2-way passage.
I presume, of course,
built-
that when I got to the other end of the passage, to the master bedroom, it was unoccupied.
Oh yeah. The bedroom is currently unoccupied.
You know, quite apart from the fact that I just feel like somebody should know if there's a secret sex dungeon in their house, he should also know for, like, assassination reasons, because it's possible
Yeah.
that the Van der Sar family have the plans to the house, or somebody knows somebody or something, and his bedroom's at the other end of it, so yeah.
Alright, well, while I'm trying to concoct something that is at least vaguely plausible for how I discovered this when they failed, why don't we go and have a scry?
We were hanging
Yeah.
we were hanging something up in the cupboard.
Alright, what was
We are
actually in
planning
the
on
cupboard?
staying here for the night.
Yeah, what was actually in the cupboard?
Oh, just essentially little rails.
Yeah, we were hanging
Right.
something in the
It
cupboard.
was a guest.
Not actually ridiculous if you're staying
it's a
somewhere.
guest
Fair enough.
cupboard. I'll say that there's one bathrobe.
Not that any of these characters ever hang up clothes.
No.
That never
No.
happens, but he doesn't know that.
Yeah, there is one bathroom, a couple of complimentary towels.
Aw.
Fair. Alright.
We were going in the cupboard for towels. There we go.
How
Yes, for our baths.
How is this one of the weirdest conversations I've ever needed to have?
There is, by the way, a continually cooling bath, which is available for anyone who wants it.
Coulson will avail himself of it, but, you know,
I can
probably...
always. I've got prestidigitation. I can warm it up.
True. Okay.
After this.
Well, Scrying?
Yes,
Yes.
In a
please.
sex dungeon. Sex dungeon scrying.
Let's just not pretend this is any weirder than it is.
I hope Quellena's looking in right now, 'cause that'd be really strange.
Corzin just vaguely gives the finger to the ceiling.
Same. Hey, bitch.
You don't have the
people,
feeling
like,
of being
usually-
scried on, but
Floating. Like, when you scry, are you floating, or are
I'm
you
not,
not just...
not sure mine works the same, though, does it, you know? Because I wander around, it's like I'm there, but whenever I've seen anybody else scry, they're, like, looking into, you know, a mirror or whatever, aren't they? Or
Also
like Olga with the cauldron or whatever. Like, they're still standing there talking, you know? Nobody does the weird shit I do.
Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but if it's Quillena scrying, it's not actually her, it's someone she's paying to scry.
No, but I hope that they would have the good manners to pass on my hey bitch.
I would hope so. That would be only dutiful of them.
Yes, it would.
But Corzin gets a little bit hysterical for a second.
Well, I hope she enjoyed that puppet show that time. That was magnificent.
Oh, yeah.
That was brilliant.
Good memories. Anyway, which one do we want to do first? So, we all have to make the decision.
Yes.
Take
Alright,
a second
so
to make the decision. We're staying here, however awkward and awful it is, and however much we might actually want to leave. We're going to stay here until she attacks.
okay.
Yes.
And when she does, we're going to shout the date over and over again whilst we're
And
being
the
stabbed
time.
to death.
And the time.
Also the time.
I'm
Take a
going-
second, make the decision.
I need to ask each of you to answer this honestly. Are you prepared to camp out here for 6 months if you have to? I'm not saying this is the time, but are you prepared to camp out here for 6 months?
honestly, I'm not sure Corzin is, what with the ship and everything.
What is... answer me honestly, each of you. What is the longest time you reckon you would be willing to stay?
I mean, I've got nowhere to be.
I mean, it's really hard being here.
I think I'd stay. I think I would, because I know this won't work unless I truly believe it.
Celestia's quite good at acting and lying to herself.
I would like you to make a self-deception check with disadvantage, because it is to yourself.
But, like, you know how you can do the actor
Yeah.
thing where you can kind of convince yourself
I
of
would like you
something?
to make a self-deception
Cool.
check.
I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But
No, it totally does.
I
it's
think
like
for
acting is
Corzin it would be a
basically
flat
like
month.
telling really big lies really well, and I feel like she's actually decent at that. Oh, it's not good. That is a 10.
Okay.
It could be worse. I don't think she manages to think past like 2 to 3 weeks,
Yeah.
if I'm honest.
Yeah.
She tries for longer,
Celestia's
but like,
real limit of
Ooh.
self-deception is about a month.
yeah. And that kind of that month would be like she manages to get that far purely by thinking of just hiding in one of the guest rooms for that amount of time.
However, you all quietly commit to staying here until it happens, but your real limits are respectively reached. Having made that decision, and the real decision, I'm afraid, is entirely subconscious, so you aren't aware of your real limits.
Yeah.
What do you ask of the eye?
What's this place called?
This is the Von Spearthrust Estate.
Show me when Mill Hill attacks the Von Spearthrust estate.
Okay. Okay. You study, the eye spins. You plunge down into it and look around. There is no bubble. You research.
Now, did we all convince ourselves properly? Because I didn't see anything.
Well, you'd have seen something even if we hadn't, you'd have just not seen us shouting the
That's
day.
true, actually.
You don't actually get a future tally because you didn't actually.
I didn't do anything.
It didn't take.
Does
It's used up a use of the eye for the day, but it
But I didn't
hasn't.
get a tally.
You haven't got a tally.
Does that suggest that as things currently stand, it's more likely that something occurs to just prevent that from happening?
Or that they have no intention of coming here.
Or that they have no intention of coming here?
I mean, they
which-
might not have a connection.
Well, this is not something we can entirely discount, but given that that there are these two groups of people who now seemingly have motive and means to attack this place.
Strange.
My guess would be that if not us, then something else happens in order to prevent that from occurring. Whether that's, Mildred getting caught, or the Von Spear thrusts not actually being as duplicitous as they seem.
Confusingly, it's actually the Van der Sars. The Von Spear
Van der
Thrusts are the
Sars.
previous owners of this plantation.
Sorry,
Van der
yeah.
Sars bought it.
That was an out-of-character mistake.
It's fine.
Yeah.
That name confusion definitely isn't because Jason forgot the name of the owning family at some point and said the other and
casually
had
changed
to retcon some things.
Well, I didn't actually go to the future, so I think we're all right for tying me to a chair at this second.
Well, that's
Great.
good to know.
He said, standing directly beneath the bondage gear.
Well, the other thing we wanted to look at is now, so hopefully that won't
Hopefully
affect it
not.
either.
Equally, they could be Sanctum. They're very rich, but it's probably worth trying anyway, isn't it?
You got to try, haven't you?
Was there another weird thing we wanted to look at? I
Well,
feel like there were two weird
we
things.
wanted to look at the what's her name, the person betraying.
Oh, let's do that first. I can't
That's
sleep
more
without
urgent.
looking at that.
All right.
And then when tomorrow we can see if they, because my guess is that they will find a way to attack him, but we don't know when. So finding out that might be good.
Show me when Melissa betrays Michael.
Okay.
Wasn't it Marissa?
As you say that, you correct yourself to Marissa.
Oh,
You're like
yeah,
halfway
please don't
through.
be mean
You're
to
halfway
me.
through. Show me when Melissa. Isn't it Marissa? When Marissa.
Sorry, but that would have been a thing, wouldn't it?
yeah. You'd have like you.
It was a player mistake.
Yeah. You just you call and around you, the bubbles float, and down below you, one appears. You float towards it. You see, it is evening, quite late, and Michael is sat at a desk in a room you have not yet been to, but with a window up above, and there seems to be like documentation around, and he's kind of sighing and going through lots and lots of papers and making a signature on them. It's a
Do those papers have a date?
a lot of these seem to be legalese papers. Give me an investigation check, I suppose, as you just study the papers as they go through.
That's an 18.
Okay. None of these ones do, but you keep an eye out. So he's signing them. Studying the papers, they mostly seem to be relating to transfers of property, the transfer of the Von Spearthrust estate, and actually a few other estates that seem named estates that you don't know the location of. But you do keep track of the names. They have various Orcish names associated with them. At least 15. And essentially Michael seems to be going through and laboriously signing each page. You notice that Michael's signature is basically a sort of like a slightly squiggly MJB with a dash. and he actually takes a little bit of time with each one, so it's quite slow, as if some with the motions of someone who is not very used to letters. And he's frowning, kind of going through, and you hear the door open, and coming in behind, and this is all by candlelight because it is in the evening. Marissa comes in with several more stacks of papers. Bloody hell, that's there's a lot to go through for all this inheritance business, isn't there? I'm afraid there is, sir. Yeah, sorry, the words are so, could you summarize these for me? Yes, though. Okay, so that is to do with the von Hibbelheim plantation. That one is to do with the von Arkest plantation. Bloody hell, Percival owned a lot, didn't he? Yes, he did, sir. I've told you not to call me sir. Sorry, Michael. Thank you. So have you done? Have you? You said you've sorted it then? Yes, I have. As per your your instructions, we are now in the process of releasing everybody. Right. Good. I again must warn you, sir, that this will result in significantly less production. There will be a definite hit to our assets. Assets be damned, woman. Look, this is people's lives we're talking about. And as you said, those were your orders, sir. Michael. So, I have come up with a solution. And she presents several of the documents. Right, and this is... Well, this, sir, is what I like to call the sharecropping scheme. Okay, how does it work? Well, everyone will, of course, be free, but, they need to... there's a requirement... But, of course, the land is ours. Yours, sir. Michael. Glares at her, but kind of gestures to continue onwards. And with the transition of ownership being what it is, partition would be a difficult matter. Yes, details, right, okay. Therefore, what it seems only fair that since many of these people do not have the money to pay for rent, and rent is essential after all, there are a number of houses and so on still in the estate. Right, yes, details, get to the point. What I'm suggesting is that they should pay in exchange for working the land, they would receive a share of the crops upon them. Right, and how's that worked out? Well, as you can see, sir, on page 7, 8 through 12 here, I have the deep breakdown. You see his eyes swim. Okay, details. So, but this will do it, right? This frees everyone and means that we don't need to worry about going bankrupt, right? Of course, sir. Where do I sign? Here, 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 and here, sir. She goes through each of the signatures, and passes here, and he passes. She takes the paperwork. Thank you, sir. Michael. I'll see about getting these filed. She walks away, and as she turns, there's a slight smile to her face. And leaves, and the vision comes to an end.
Well, I thought she was going to poison him or something, but this is much worse.
What happened?
She was helping sort the paperwork to free everybody.
Right.
And, hard to explain, but as far as I understand it, she's making sure people aren't properly free. She's saying they still owe money for their houses and their land, so... they'll have to pay for a share before they can go free. By the way, out of character, correct me if I'm wrong on this.
I need you to roll... I need Celestia to roll an intelligence check on this, because
I think I understand,
the wording... Yes. you're arguable as to whether your interpretation is correct, so which is why intelligence. But if that is a conclusion that Celestia could reach, but there is deliberately a lot of legalese in the paperwork. It was designed to confuse.
Okay. It's not great. I don't want to not understand because of a player mistake.
No. That's why I'm getting a sense of how much of the details you understand. 11. Okay.
Like...
No. It's fine. Essentially, looking through the explanation that she gave and what was said, your gut feeling you feel like your gut feeling is entirely correct, but it's dressed up in the idea not so much as of you have to pay a fee to be released as we own the land your house is on, you need to pay rent, and you have a gut feeling that something about how those rents and the idea of this sharecropping scheme is set up is probably designed in a way that...
people aren't actually free.
Yes.
Because basically if you have to work to pay for the house that you live in and you're not technically legally allowed to leave because you owe money for your rent.
Essentially. You're
forced to own the thing, therefore you're forced to
11
pay
is
rent
enough
on
for you to kind of put together in a way that Michael couldn't, because of your background and
it's basically feudalism again.
Yeah, it's essentially, it's a debt cycle.
Can we say, to avoid rubbish explanation for ages, can we say I relay this?
Yeah, it takes you a few minutes to clarify it, but you relay essentially that you're pretty sure that Mercia is trapping people in a cycle of debt that essentially keeps them on the land and keeps them working there.
Basically, everybody's still stuck.
All right. Did you get a sense of when this
was the
is
weather
going
the same? Like, what are we looking at here?
It was late at night. It was I don't think you get temperature sensations. I don't think I've said that before. Oh no, you do.
No.
You do get temperature sensations because of the time you got nuked.
Yes.
Yes.
I must.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was. Yeah, it was a slightly cooler night than the last few nights.
Okay. A little bit colder, so not tonight.
Also,
all right, that's
please give yourself.
Is it?
Yeah, sorry. Go on.
Is it not more likely to? This paperwork's been done, hasn't it? We didn't specify the future. Is this not the past?
And please add yourself a past tally.
Oh, bastards. Okay. Shit. Well, we can undo it, can't we? Surely?
Well, if we perhaps explain to Michael exactly what this means.
Oh, God.
I
so
think
awkward.
maybe we explain to Leah what it means.
I think we
and
should.
we get Leah to look at the paperwork.
I was gonna say, like,
I mean,
there's
without being a dick, it's just true. He looks like he has a bit of trouble with letters, which is fair enough. So
Whereas
Leah
Leah's
might
smarter
actually.
than all of us.
Yeah, Leah's way better at stuff than any of us.
I was gonna say there's just no way that Leah would have let anything like this go past.
Well, she wasn't there yet.
Exactly. Alright.
Should I send to her? Just tell her when she's done to come up to the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to rush her because
Yeah, of course,
it's
we
not
just
like
need
it's
to have
going
a-
anywhere. But
Private conversation, that's all.
yeah, I'm going to send to Leah.
Okay.
Alright.
The fucking 5th level spell is really running low.
Then we need a nap.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Leah, sorry to bother, but important. Very. No rush. Speed not important. But later, come for a chat. Please. Hope you're alright. See you soon.
Reply a moment later. Celestia. Okay. If you think we have time, I'll hold off a little. I'll see you early in the evening. Maybe just before dinner. We'll talk then.
I don't send anything back. Yeah, early evening. Before dinner.
Okay.
Alright, that gives us some time.
Just enough time to have a rest.
Yes,
Also, we
please.
should get the pass thing done.
Yes, we should.
Don't want to leave that hanging around.
Alright, back into the room then?
Yeah.
So you head back into the room that the guest room,
Yeah.
leaving the sex dungeon.
And carefully replacing the cupboard and everything as it was.
And you get out a chair, and do you use some of your own rope or some of the rope from the sex dungeon?
Own rope, definitely.
Definitely our rope. Yeah.
Okay,
We don't know where that rope's been.
I mean, we're doing D characters. We've all got 50 foot of rope.
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
be honest.
Your rope is
Yeah.
a little harder, a little bit more worn than the smooth, silky rope. But, that rope was specially prepared for comfort. But
Fair enough.
You strap Celestia down. Okay. I'm just thinking about what your options are.
Scamp, have you got that language thing that you can do?
Yes. I'll do that
maybe
first.
do that.
Thinking.
Have you still got a silence spell?
I do.
If someone noisy comes through,
Yeah, can do.
That's not a bad idea.
let's keep it as an option.
Yeah, if I start screaming in Syrian or something, it'll be good to have.
Yep.
Okay. You spin the eye, and as it's happening,
We don't spin the eye for this.
oh no, you don't. You place. The
I mean,
eye
I
thing.
get one of them to
You
lift
get
it
one
up
them.
in front
yeah.
of me.
So
It
you
hurts.
cast the spell first,
Yeah.
and once Scamp's finished drawing, you raise the eye up in front of the loop, and you feel yourself sucked inside. Celestia, roll me a d6.
D6? Goodness. 4.
It's not a D12. It's not a D12. It's not a D12.
It's not a d12 this time. Okay. 4. Okay. As you feel yourself pulled down, a bubble comes towards you, and you blink a little bit. You look down. You are in a much shorter body than yours, with, glancing at your hands, dusky coloured skin. You pull a little strand of hair. Black seems to be tied up behind you. You're in a black waistcoat and trousers with a white shirt. You
Am I Marissa?
glancing around. There is a mirror in the room
Oh,
you
look
find
in the
yourself
mirror.
in, and you do appear to be Marissa.
Well, fuck.
You have your very own quantum leap moment. You are in the. You are actually in the house. It feels like you can see through an open doorway of the atrium, but you are in a small, quite a narrow little study or office. There's a lot of carefully piled books and notes around, and you can see someone approach, opening the door carefully and stepping into the building. Actually, no, they wouldn't be stepping into the building. They step down from the upstairs. You see them coming down the steps in the main atrium, coming through, closing the door behind them, and glancing for a moment into the office, into some room next door. They come into your office. They are a dwarf, actually. So this particular dwarf is a woman. She has quite straight, quite straight sort of black hair, and a very smooth, glossy black beard, carefully adorned with a number of small, thinking about who she is, golden ornaments.
Ooh, fancy.
At the same time, she's also wearing a ostensibly plain, in the sense that it is a sort of brown waistcoat with a cream shirt and a brown coat over one arm, which she's bringing in. Brown trousers as well. We're not in the right area for that. So just brown trousers tucked into boots. The boots have a little bit of dust on them, as if there's been a small amount of travelling through dusty roads, but not a great deal. They don't look travel stained. More like they've just got a little bit around the edges, where they haven't been wiped off on the carpet. And she is also carrying in her other hand a small travel case. I would like you to roll an intelligence check.
Okay. 16?
It is the same case that you first saw Michael carrying.
Ah.
Like, same design.
Same one.
Same pattern. As far as you can tell, it's the same one. There's no obvious scratches, but it's the same shape and style. So, the dwarf looks in and closes the door behind her. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention. She also has, unusually for a lot of doors that you've seen, quite that sort of. I want to say that that sort of slightly goldenish skin colour that you tend to see in humans from Eastern Haldanos as well. And not dissimilar facial features. Skin not unlike real life Jason's, to a degree, you might say. She closes the door behind her, gives you a respectful nod. Well, how are you holding up?
Okay.
It seems his health is declining. What have the doctors said?
They've said it's not looking great.
No, that doesn't surprise me. She smacks her lips a little. Nevertheless, he is cantankerous as ever. And did not seem entirely willing to approach the arrangement. Have you someone in mind?
Yes.
It will need to be someone not obviously attached to us. It cannot be you. It would be too obvious. Someone close to him?
He's got a footman called Michael. Would that do you?
Ah, the one who is, who is mopping his brow. Good. She opens the case.
So, what's the plan once it's handed over then?
You can see there's documents inside. Simple enough. All you need to do is fill in this Michael's name. Everything has already been arranged elsewhere as well. The properties will go over. We will, of course, ensure that there is no trouble from the legal system. Mm-hmm. And this will keep things solidly out of their hands.
The Van der Sar family.
Of course. And, well, what it is they represent. She pauses. Is this area sanctioned?
Yes.
Roll a deception check.
So full of shit. Oh, it's really good though. 26.
Well, of course you know the others like them. The Debonaires. The Salachis.
Mm-hmm.
All of the big families up in the cotton strands. The Cotton Kings, so they call themselves. Those who are amenable to a change in rule, to fight, but who see it, do not necessarily favour our interests. Factions within a faction. You know how it is. Of course, she reaches down, folds it about 4 pages in, taps to a small note. Your own remuneration is included. Will
Much
be taken
obliged.
care of. If it is likely that there will be some retaliation of some sort from the family. Nothing legally, we've sewn that up. You may wish to keep guards posted. You cannot allow this boy to die. Not yet. Not until the war has happened.
Not until the war.
No.
So,
And another thing to be aware of. Someone has gone rogue. A halfling by the name of Millhill. She has been seen making her way down towards this region. I don't believe she's explicitly aware of the plan here, but if you see an opportunity to dispose of her, do.
noted.
We've already made some arrangements with the sheriff for a proper bounty to be placed. That should increase the interest.
And what are your next steps once it's all signed?
I head back north, return, keep an eye on the business. And more than that, you do not need to concern yourself with until we send further communications.
All right.
Thank you. Your assistance in these matters is definitely appreciated. And when the changes are done, we will look at ensuring that you have a place of your own. One other thing. We will be depending, to some degree, upon the income from these estates in order to fund the war.
Oh.
Try not to lose too much money, if you can. Very well. She closes the briefcase, pushes it over. Please, accept my condolences, she says, standing.
Devastated, I'm sure.
Indeed. It's just a shame that Percival was not so willing to assist us in life. She tips her head forward abruptly and turns, opens the door, leaves, and as she goes, the vision closes around.
I would prefer you to play her when she comes out the other end, because she is a currently plot-relevant NPC,
Yep.
and it's going to get weird if I play her.
Okay.
I imagine you might have gone there anyway, but I feel like I'll say something that will fuck up what you're doing.
So
You'll tell us everything.
Well, my plan. All about my plan.
Okay. There is a moment as Celestia looks into the eye, blinks. Pause. Eyes dart around, frowning.
Hello? Are you alright there? You had a funny turn. Whoever you are.
There's a moment where her mouth opens. She almost like gurns a little bit. Seems to run her tongue along her teeth. There's a look of increasing alarm before looking down.
You passed out. Do you feel okay?
What the flying fuck is going on?
Do you remember your name or the
Yenna!
date?
Hank! Yenna!
Okay, silence.
You cast up silence. You
Well,
see
that
her
complicates
still
things.
opening her mouth, screaming.
I mean,
Are we
John,
outside?
But silently.
Can we be outside the bubble?
Yeah, you can.
I
You
would
can
have
position it.
planned
You
to-
can position it so that so that the bubble only covers her, and I guess also the sex dungeon bit.
yeah.
You step outside the bubble. Okay, I'm going to roll some perception checks. Let's see whether or not that got heard.
Wouldn't be in her voice, weirdly.
No, but it
Through the
would.
wrong vocal cords.
It would be. It's sort
It's
of.
still shouting
it's
to them,
Celestia kind of in her accent. It's weird.
but they wouldn't recognise it as Marissa.
Yeah. There is. Okay. Yeah. There is no immediate response that you hear.
I'm sorry, Scamp, we couldn't have that, could we?
No, but this complicates things.
Oh, crap, you're right. Oh,
It's someone who knows the place. Wait, who's... Okay, we should put her in the secret passage. In case anyone turns up.
Alright. Is it possible to move the chair with Celestia on it through the secret passage?
Yep.
We shall do that.
Yeah,
Let's
I mean,
do that.
like,
It's not in the cupboard.
it's like
What do we do with things we don't like? We put them in the cupboard.
We lock them away.
Make an athletics check.
I will help.
Yeah, so I guess make it with an advantage, and Celestia will make one with disadvantage. Actually, yeah, could you make one?
I
Use
guess,
your body.
yeah, it's my
Athletics.
body, isn't it? So what is it?
Either athletics or actually no acrobatics, because you could be trying to wriggle out of the ropes as well.
Okay, I mean, I guess it's up to you what she
Yeah.
used.
So she'd use acrobatics.
26.
Disadvantage?
Yeah, disadvantage.
That's not
I'm
good.
not terribly worried unless you got two natural 20s.
13.
Yeah, no. She struggles, but you silently, but you manage to get her into the. So you're both helping you get her into the passageway. You close the door behind her, and as you step out, you now hear the banging on the door. You're like, what's up? But I heard shouting. I do declare, what's happening? Sort of a.
Haha, we played a funny trick on you. We don't need anything, thank you.
Roll the deception check.
There's literally nothing I can do to help you with this, I'm sorry.
Deception, that is a 26.
What? You don't deserve that higher number.
So
I am
brief
very
pause,
charismatic.
brief pause, and then. Oh! You kids and your tricks, I do declare.
Kids,
I also declare.
Yeah, you hear a muttered, I do declare children these days and ill mannered.
oh, that should not have worked. That's brilliant.
26, yeah. Don't know if it worked if it'd be much lower, but. Right.
So glad you have a silent spell. Fucking hell.
So, do you want to spend the next 10 minutes waiting for.
Question, actually.
Yes.
If I've got the sending stone on my hat, and Celestia has the one in her bandana, does that enable us to talk even within the silence?
That's sound.
Yeah, you supplicate.
it's sound.
Yeah, you actually
will-
hear it. Like
and
it's. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Because we've we've heard it by pressing our faces together to the same one before, so I
Yeah.
feel like it must be sound.
That's how it worked when you were underground.
Yeah,
Underwater even.
yeah.
Even. Okay. You don't hear any struggles or thrashing coming from the.
No, but I will go back and watch in case she gets out of the chair.
That's a valid point.
Yeah.
Because no, you made that decision soon enough. You don't get to make a check to escape.
Fair.
So she does try to escape a few times, but
Oh,
you
yeah.
just hold her in place. And
Stop that.
you fail to say.
I mime automatically because you would.
Yeah, it's just this wild-eyed, trapped woman until about 10 minutes later, her eyes blink. And Celestia, you open your eyes to find yourself in the sex dungeon.
What happened? How did
You
we
fail
get
to
down here?
say, because there's a few seconds before suddenly the sound returns.
Corzin will drop it, yeah.
Well, I assume that went badly for you two.
It was it was somebody who knew this this place. They called out for the servants.
Sorry, is it fucking Melissa or Marissa? My brain's
Marissa.
Marissa.
It's halfway between Melissa and Marisha.
Cool.
Ah,
That doesn't help. It's just more words. I can't pretend otherwise.
Marissa.
Yeah, I'm there. So it's fucking Marissa.
shit.
Oh.
What did you see?
I relay this
Yeah, you relay
in
the
full.
info.
So yeah, dwarf. This whole thing is actually funding a war, so she's not just a dick.
All right.
Something
Oh.
really big going on.
So are the bad guys the good guys?
Hey, the
Like the
bandits might be the good guys.
I mean, not just the bandits, but also the people who legally probably should have had this house originally.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm still glad Michael's got it, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
I mean, we need to fuck with some paperwork, hugely.
Yeah.
We need
Yeah.
Leah. Leah's good at this. Also, I don't think we should explain. I don't know how we explain this to anyone, but I think we'll have a better time with Leah than we will trying to explain it to this poor
Leah
man
at least
whose life has just turned
understands
upside down.
how we could have possibly come by this information.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like Michael, it's a lot for a person to get their head round, you know.
Does this mean we need to talk to the bandit? Is she actually going to be on our side and useful?
I mean, possibly we could send her at some point, couldn't we?
I'm sure that'll go down really well. Hi, it's the
Hello.
people who nearly killed you and made you look like a bit of an idiot.
Sorry about that. Do you want to stop the war?
She said,
Well, no,
I'm-
start the war, really, because I think the war's a good thing. It's just that this
what
one's
war
funding
is
the
this?
wrong side.
What war is happening now? My head hurts. What war are we on?
There's a war about to start, isn't there, between people who want the land to be ruled by the people who live there
Uh-huh.
against the people who just want taxes off it. Is that right? Is that what they were so angry about the tea for?
I guess so, although...
Mostly I was thinking about the samovars that we weren't going to sell and getting confused. I can't pretend otherwise.
Really, really
When she was
fair.
leaving, she said, I'm not going back. That made me think she was a deserter, but...
Yeah.
maybe-
Because maybe she was on the side that was fighting for... Wait, what colour coat did she have?
Red.
Or Syrian.
Right, and what did the people who were throwing the tea in the harbour have?
Brown, like just assorted clothes. They were just, like they had the only really unifying thing was the face masks.
Okay, and was there anyone? What were the uniform soldiers that weren't with them wearing?
They were wearing red, the standard color of the
Yeah.
Assyrian army.
Okay. So she's probably now with the people throwing tea in the river and was pre-harbour and used to be with
The
the
Osirian
bad guys.
Norbets?
Your
It's a
Syrian
little
army.
more complicated than good and bad, but
Yes.
you get what I mean.
Yes. Celestia's like
So I wonder,
staring
You
into
said
the
we
distance.
weren't getting involved.
I wonder what the Haldanic connection is, though. If that is where this person seems to be from.
Roll a history check.
Celestia doesn't know this.
Actually, you would.
Would I?
You have a good chance
Exciting.
this, so you can also roll one.
Cool.
Oh, can I roll one as well? Or?
Both of you can.
Okay, right.
And actually, Scamp can.
Not actually.
All of you have a
these
connection to
days.
dwarves in some way. Well, Corzon's just well-travelled.
To 20.
14.
Okay, 1420. More Celestia knows this, Scamp, you're vaguely aware of this. There are dwarves in Haldanos, frankly, is the short version of this. The dwarf, because of the connection of the Underdark between Haldanos and Jova, dwarves can be found on both sides, and historically, there are both dwarven kingdoms in the mountains of Jova and in several of the mountain ranges of Haldanos. Legendarily, Haldanos is where dwarves first originated.
That's not really what we're asking, though. We're asking how is Haldanos involved?
Well, the dwarf herself is Haldanic.
Yes.
But, well, I mean, that's literally, like, that's all you, like, yeah, that's a conclusion you could draw, is that she is a dwarf from Haldanos. How otherwise it's involved, you don't know, but,
Okay.
yeah.
Celestia just sort of like thinks for a sec. I know dwarves. There's a lot of dwarves in Haldanos. I don't know why she's here in
Right.
particular.
But Haldanos is it in any way connected?
I don't know.
I realise I just not answered your question.
It's not really a piece of helpful information, is it, in this
No.
context?
Shut up! I don't know anything. Stop looking at me like I know things. This is a mess.
It is a mess, and I don't know whose side are we on here.
Convoluted
Do we
mess.
have a side?
No.
Look, if we're going to be trying to do our best to ensure that Michael and Leah have the best possible chance of it they can have here, what are we going to do?
I mean, sort the fucking paperwork out for a start.
I mean,
Right.
there's that,
Okay, so
but it's more than that, though, because
I mean,
by the
that's like
sound of
small
it,
fucking potatoes, isn't it?
when the war is eventually done, I don't think we're stopping a war at this point. Unless that is our plan, but let's say the war happens because we don't get overly involved.
Fighting to preserve the status quo.
So I
Okay,
just-
say the war happens.
maybe the war does need to happen. I mean, there's
Yeah.
all sorts of shit going on, isn't there?
And if this lot win, which is entirely possible, they are then just going to kill Michael.
Yeah.
They only want him alive while the war's going on.
Because
Maybe
he's-
Leah and him
Implication?
should get out. I mean, he'd technically still own the house, but maybe they should just go.
Ugh.
I don't know.
If
I mean,
he did
honestly, it's their decision. We just need to make sure they have all the facts, really, don't we?
if he did just up and disappear, that would throw a bit of a hammer into things, at least in the short term, because they wouldn't be able to actually have his authorization to do anything.
I mean, how long could they keep up the ruse that he was just here and reclusive? I think long enough for a war.
Probably. Yeah, she could definitely just sign papers. She's seen him sign enough papers.
Does he have a particularly complicated signature?
No, it's 3 letters.
Right.
Like, I could
Leave-
do it, you know?
Leaving
really
is
could.
Yeah.
Leaving will save them, but it doesn't solve the problem.
No, it doesn't. And again, it's their call.
Oh, we're very close to getting involved in a war we said we weren't going to get involved
I
in.
don't want to be involved in a war. I just want to get really drunk somewhere.
If what you say is true, though, the
you know,
the
maybe-
whole
I don't know, maybe have a rebound fling or something. Like, I just...
That is not helpful.
the whole reason
I
that
know.
they wanted a bounty on Mill Hill was presumably because she had some kind of connection to this Haldanic dwarf and posed a threat.
Well, if she's part of this rebel thing, that's quite a big load of people she's got.
Well, I don't know, we just send to
Also,
Mill Hill and
yeah,
ask her,
okay.
excuse me, What are you doing in the war? We've definitely never met before, and you should tell us everything.
I think she'll know it's us. Isn't that a thing that you know who sent it to?
Yeah. Also, I actually sent to her last time as well.
True.
Yeah, so she
no, we're past
genuinely.
that.
I've talked to her before.
But maybe we should have a chat.
Maybe we genuinely should talk to her.
This is a whole convoluted mess.
I hate everything. Everything is awful. Make it stop.
There's a small knock at the door.
What? Sorry, hello.
I do declare, would you like some cake? And do you
Is that
need
a
me
thing
to...
that you should declare? You declare cake?
In this case,
Yes.
I declare cake.
That-
there is cake.
I
That is
think
the
we could
one
all
thing
do a
I can
cake
agree
right
on
now.
with
Okay, I mean,
And,
yeah,
Click,
cake is very...
open.
Always declare cake.
Yeah, no. Yenna is there with again more of this jam sandwich cake, sponge cake,
That looks
as
amazing.
yet unnamed.
I'm so sorry for playing a funny joke on you earlier.
What?
Well, that's
Where I
that's
screamed.
all right.
Oh, yeah, that one. They're a little tyke. We can't stop them.
Well, I'll just leave this cake here, and if you need anything else, do tell me. Otherwise, if there's anything I can do to help you relax, make sure to tell me.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, we will.
Oh, such manners, I do declare.
Have a lovely day.
The bath is ready whenever you need it.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that was it. I quite lost track of time. Right,
What are we doing?
got
after
this,
she
like-
leaves, Corzin does not get into the bath, but sort of looks at it longingly.
I've got this sort of, like,
Bathroom's
just
right across the
headache
hall,
behind
you can
my eye now. That wasn't there before.
I know. I just
It's like
I don't.
throbbing, just right here, you know?
How do we fix this?
Smashing it with a hammer multiple times won't do anything, will it?
I don't know.
Smashing
I think it's
what
always
exactly?
worth it.
Oh.
Well, I can think of a certain halfling that. No, that wouldn't help.
Maybe just like a little scream into a pillow. I don't know.
There's one on
As
the
if
bed over
everything
there,
was
help yourself.
Weird enough already. you know?
Please don't do more screaming. I don't think I could apologise to Yenna again.
I mean, clearly you apologise well. She brought cake. Should we eat this whole cake? Right
Unless
now.
it's poisoned.
Oh, fuck off. Just want some
mean-
cake.
I can't think.
If it is, I've got you covered, don't worry.
I'm taking a bite of the cake. It's happening.
Celestia immediately keels up. No, it's
just
lovely.
cake.
It's lovely moist cake.
Corzin will also take a bite of the cake.
It's still lovely moist cake. Quite sugary. No constitution saves required.
This cake's very full of itself. It's almost like it's like victorious.
I don't know why you'd say that about a cake, but okay.
No, and I don't know why I reacted so strongly to it, but I just felt this deep loathing for every word you said in that moment.
Me too, and I can't put my finger on why, because it doesn't mean anything to us as people.
Yeah.
Those words were in no way significant, so why we all reacted like that, I couldn't
I
possibly
just
say.
don't
I
know.
just feel like this strange echo from the future is like just like some strange after effect of the of the eye. Maybe, who knows? So, are you ready to take your long rest? And
Yes, but I'm going to
Yes.
set an alarm.
you set up an alarm across. You're all staying in the same room. Actually, no. Your alarm can cover all 3 rooms.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we should stay close.
I feel like me and Scamp, like, probably share a lot because we're
Yeah.
both so paranoid and we don't have Molly with us. So I feel like we're often hanging up hammocks in each other's rooms and stuff.
You-
I picture that
All
on the
the
ship, like,
time.
all the time.
You share a room. Corzin, do you want your own room?
Yeah, Corzin will have his own room.
Okay. Do you take the
I
room?
suspect there's
do you
a
take the
screen
room-
for baths.
Yeah. There
Like,
is. Well, there's a
probably.
bathroom.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
actually
yeah.
a
There's an
separate
actual
bathroom.
Oh, I was picturing
This
like
is
a
a
tin bath in
posh.
the room.
This is a posh fucking house.
That's posh.
Yeah. So Corzin, the important question is: do you want the room with the sex dungeon access or not?
Asking the important questions here.
There are actually 2 rooms that do not have sex dungeon access, but they are not next to each other, and thus would be harder to cover with an alarm.
He will take the room that is the easiest to cover with the alarm and with the easiest access to the bath.
That is actually the sex dungeon room.
Right, fair enough.
You take the sex dungeon room, and now also have a legitimate excuse to inform Michael that there is a secret, that there is both a potential murder passage and also a sex dungeon.
Yeah, he looks at the cabinet behind which it lies as if he wishes it ill.
And as you take the opportunity to settle at last into your bath, to polish off a whole cake, we're going to return after these, no doubt important, messages. And now a word from our friends over at the D&D Grandma and the Family That Games Together.
I think whatever aggravates me in real life, I can take it out in the game.
There is no word that I can sufficiently find in the English language to describe the feeling of putting your world and your story out there and watching your family bring it to life.
And I attribute it to, of course, my children, of course, to this game, and of course to all the love that's on this table.
That's a
That we have
wonderful
for each other.
answer.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
if you could see it, everybody is holding hands and hugging. I believe there's Kumbaya being sung faintly in the background.
The D&D Grandma and the Family That Games Together, a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition actual play podcast starring the D&D Grandma, her children, and her children-in-law. New episodes every Sunday on all your favorite podcatchers. Thank you, and keep on rolling.
Hello, this is Serendadero in an advert. I am here to advertise Flintlocks and Fireballs. You should like, rate, share, subscribe, and support the Patreon of Flintlocks and Fireballs, because I am being paid gold to make you do it. Go do it, so I am paid more gold. And welcome back. After a few hours spent resting, relaxing as much as you can, recovering, shortly before dinner, there is a knock on Celestia and Scamp's door.
I open it. Hello.
Leah looks in. You needed to speak with me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's kind of got worse.
Hello.
Do you mind if I...
Yeah.
She steps in and closes the door behind.
Is now okay for weird stuff?
Is ever okay for weird stuff.
No.
Now is as good a time as any.
Right. Fuck.
They're going to attack tonight?
No.
We're doomed?
No.
Oh, that was
well,
actually kind
always.
of... Ooh. Okay, so let's go from the beginning. It's Marissa.
Wait, she's working for Millhill?
No.
Worse.
She's in charge of them?
No,
Worse.
just get your brain away from Millhill for a bit.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
We've just,
So, you know how...
It's been, 8 hours?
Yes, I know.
True, yeah.
Well, I mean, we were there when we started scrying, but nothing happened from the scry of when they were going to attack, so we didn't get anything. That doesn't mean that they're not going to, but...
Right, so you were saying.
So, basically, she's fucked with the paperwork and she's made sure everybody isn't free.
Leah's
She did it when Michael was
eyebrows
tired and had
raised.
signed lots, and she just told him it said something it didn't actually say.
I mean, they're technically free, but not.
Yeah, I explained the ins and outs
Sure,
of that.
You take 2 or 3 minutes to work it through. Leah pauses, sort of does that thing where you kind of point your finger in the air a bit when you're thinking through a few things.
We thought you might actually be a lot better with it than we would.
She pinches the bridge of her nose. It has the same smell and colour as indenturing, yes. It's an old Jovan practice where landlords would get their tenants into debt and make the requirements to pay the debt strenuous enough that there was no way to repay them, so they'd be forced to stay working the land, and then the debt would transfer to their children, and so on and so forth. It's an old exploit being done in a new way.
What innovators these people are.
Okay.
Not done yet, I'm afraid.
There's more.
Yes. So she got Michael the house. I don't know how she wrangled it, but she got him the house because it was too suspicious for it to be her, basically. She doesn't want the house, I don't think. I think she wants her own place. But basically, there are dwarves working with her who want to use the money to fund the war. I feel like the explanation goes on about this speed
to get more,
for like 10 minutes, and eventually we get through the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think that's probably easier than
she eventually starts. It's like by this point, Leah sat down on the bed and is just massaging her temples.
You've got like a headache behind your eye because like I still have.
Yeah, we've all got that one.
It's like specifically right here behind my eyebrow.
Yeah, just there, the arch of your eye socket. Yeah.
Are you okay? That's a stupid question.
Yeah, a little bit, but thank you for asking. Ooh.
I think I can get you some tea, a drink, coffee.
My small sword.
For Marissa.
I adore you. I don't say it often enough.
Doesn't quite feel like the right way to sort it.
Oh, it would be satisfying though, wouldn't it?
Oh, it'd be really good. I don't really know how we explain this to Michael because he doesn't know that we can look into the past, and I feel like that's a lot to put on a person who's just had this much happen.
You should
why
just
would he
look
even
through the
believe us?
paperwork. If you look through the paperwork because you're curious as to what's going on, that's normal, and you should be able to see this just by looking.
I mean, he knows you're good with this stuff.
Okay. The paperwork would have been submitted to the lawyers, but it's possible that... I doubt it would be in Michael's study, but if Marissa kept a copy, we could use that as... I could take Michael through it. Explain it to him.
Okay. Where would Marissa keep it? Oh shit, sorry, I started thinking about hidden things in the house and I realised there's a third thing.
Oh, yeah.
Cuts to Corzin.
Corzin, meanwhile, in Michael's study, you're telling me there's what?
There is apparently a secret chamber between the one I was staying in and the master bedroom, which has a number of, intimate items in it. I'm absolutely not one to judge, but I didn't imagine you'd actually know. But you ought to know, because if your life is in danger, it's in danger by the people
why he always insisted that all those young giggly women who came to visit stayed in that specific room.
Oh, right, yes.
And I did find it was odd how eager they were to get to go to sleep so early.
Ow. Wow.
Corzin sort of takes his hat off for a moment and says, well, look.
Like he's at a funeral. Respectfully taking his hat off as
it's so he can wipe his brow a little and then he'll
pictured you with that solemn face.
Look,
Sorry, yes, you were saying assassins.
yes, it is an ideal place for an assassin to hide, especially if it was somewhere that you didn't know about.
Ah, shit. Alright, well, I'll tell Marissa to put something in there to stop it.
Would it be perhaps more appropriate if you got someone else too? Like, I do not mean to cast aspersions on any of your staff, but if,
No, you're
if
right.
she
What
worked here beforehand and she didn't tell you,
Right, no, you're right. I mean, am I a joiner or am I a joiner? I can just build in a... I've been sitting on my arse too much. I can just do it myself. We've got the wood. We've got nails. I can just build a barricade in there. Block it off.
all right.
Alright, I'll make a job for that tonight or tomorrow morning.
Right. If
Thank you for telling me that.
no,
by the way.
it's fine. But you understand why I wanted to be discreet about this.
No. Well, I'm glad you picked the centre room. Could you imagine if Scamp had found that?
I'd rather not.
They're what, 12?
14, but it really doesn't make much of a difference at this point.
No, you're right.
Yes, quite. Also, would have been, I mean, even best case scenario, if another guest had found it and asked you about it, it would have been a rather awkward
that
conversation.
Would have been embarrassing. No, you're quite right. Well, thank you very much.
No, you're welcome. I've
got to... thank you. I've got to make my way through all of these gestures to this pile of papers. Who would have known that there are so many bloody papers to deal with when you inherited a mansion? It feels like all I do these days is sign things.
bureaucracy is a terrible thing.
Yeah. Well, it's about an hour till dinner, so I'll see you then.
Right, you are. Thank you. And he'll
Turns and you see him, and you kind of see him wince it, peering at the words and murmuring to himself. There's not the words keep bloody moving around the page.
Okay, Corzin is gonna just quickly have a glance down at the pages he's working on.
Roll an intelligence check just to try and glean the subject matter from.
That's an 8.
You see the word, like you kind of make out the word tenancy, but the rest of it is quite complex legalese.
Alright, Corzin is going to make his way out and back to Celestia and Scamp's room, knocking on the door.
You get back up at about the point where Leah's now put together everything.
Yeah, so there's a sex dungeon as well, that's the thing.
I just had that conversation. He took it surprisingly well.
Oh, good.
Well, I'm glad I don't need to tell him.
Yes, no one else, as far
It's
as
a
I'm
good
aware.
thing you picked that central room, Corzin. Imagine if... Sorry, it's a good thing you picked that central room, Corzin. Imagine if Scamp had been the one to find it.
Yeah, imagine that.
Yes, that would be terrible.
Yes, it was an absolutely fortuitous thing. Now, I think he plans to just block it off, and I did mention that it might be a good idea to not to mention this to Marissa or anyone else about the house. But that does raise a slight question. If Marissa has lived and worked here for a long time, she didn't tell him about that.
Of course she fucking didn't.
Well,
I mean, she doesn't want him dead for a long time, but I imagine eventually she might, you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Also,
So-
secret passages to listen to stuff, you know? It's useful, isn't it?
Exactly. But he is aware of that now,
Yeah.
and aware that she didn't tell him.
He said he's a woodworker, didn't he?
Yes.
Oh, he'll probably make a decent job of covering it up then.
Yeah.
Well, that's something at least. But, you know,
So, yeah, we've got to find these papers and stage you looking through them.
he's working on them right now. Or something like it.
Do we know that they're the papers?
I didn't get a
just
good look at
random
them.
papers.
I didn't get a good look at them, but I did see that there was the word tenancy on one of them.
I mean, Leah, you could offer to help him with the papers.
I could. I don't
want to make any assumptions,
No,
but he
that's
didn't look like he was having the best time with letters in the vision, so I assume that you could be helpful.
I taught him to write during the time we were travelling together.
Oh.
He's a joiner. He didn't really grow up in it. It's not exactly a lettered profession.
Fair enough, not everybody does.
But we didn't get that far, and he always said there was... And it was a bit harder for him than most. He said he'd kind of look at pages and there'd be... It's like he'd see all the white bits between the letters.
Ah. That sounds difficult.
I imagine it is. But, it just takes him a while to get through things, but sometimes he loses patience.
Oh, well, I mean, if he knows that you know that, you offering to help is actually pretty normal.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe you should go down now.
I will.
Meet you at dinner.
Yes. We've got about an hour till dinner.
Obviously, just come back up if you need any help.
Of course. She heads downstairs. Is there anything you wish to do in the hour before dinner?
Ruminate? No.
Do we want to try and steal some papers of our own? Is it worth the risk?
I mean...
I will say that, Corzin, when you went down to Michael's study, you did notice there was a second, smaller closed door next to it. And this matches the description from the room layout of where Marissa's little office was in the vision.
That might not be a bad idea. Do you...
We'd have to get past him and Leah, though.
They're in they're in a room right next to it. You don't access it through the...
Oh, okay, it's not like an ensuite.
It's not like an ensuite, no.
Which is how I'd pictured it, with the way that you said it as well.
An ensuite study. No, I pictured two rooms next to each other.
Yeah, 2 rooms next to each other.
No, I pictured like a big study.
like a little one.
Smaller in the corner, like an ensuite.
Yeah, that's exactly what I pictured.
I will say that I'm going to add in a little feature. I will say that there's like a little grill between the two, which can be pulled back. So like you know how in Disenchanted the vizier has like Miss Moonpenny pulling inside that little grill. It's like one of those. They can pull a little grill in, call into the person in the next study, and close the grill.
That's fun.
Okay. Scamp, can you make yourself invisible, or one of us?
Only for a minute.
I mean,
if we knew what we were looking for, that might be enough. But
we might be looking for a lot of papers.
Well, we could have a chat with her. We could pretend we need to chat with her about potentially taking out these bandits, and then one of us sneak in.
That's not unreasonable. All right.
I'm not good at sneaking, but I am good at pretending to talk about things. So,
all right.
I might be better on the talking end.
All right.
Yeah, I'm quite good at sneaking, but I'm not good at finding things.
Maybe I should talk to her, and the pair of you should go in.
I've got it.
What?
Right. This house isn't sanctioned. If we know, broadly speaking, the object that we're looking for, I should be able to give you at least a vague direction of it. I'm going to double-check the locate object spell, just to make sure I have this right.
As will I.
Describe an object that's familiar to you, sense the direction to the object's location, as long as the object is within 1,000 feet of you. If the object is in motion, you know its direction and movement.
And you're able to spot a specific object if you know the specific object you're after.
Yes.
Okay, then yes, you can use locate object.
Right. All right. This is, I think, how this is gonna have to work. If I do that now, I can get a fix on where it is, then Celestia, if you go down and try and... I mean, I can go down with you even. We can try and speak with Marissa. In the meantime, Scamp, you go into the place, invisible, grab it, and get the hell out of there.
Why don't I make you invisible? That surely would be better. Because you don't
Might
make any
be.
sound when you move.
That's
If you're
true.
invisible and you don't make sound, the odds of them spotting you very
Also,
slim.
Scamp's a bit better at lying than you, so that would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it?
That's a good point. All right.
And if you can concentrate on your thing...
Yeah, let's do that. That makes
Alright.
way more sense.
Yeah, that's duration up to 10 minutes, so yeah, fine.
Cracking.
So, tell me what you do first.
Is I do declare around? What's her name?
Peering out, opening the door, peering down, you can see, you can hear the sound of humming, matching Yenna's voice from the kitchens.
I'm gonna go to Yenna.
Okay. As you call out Yenna, you hear, "Oh, well, I do declare." You see her comes out with a little bit of
How surprising.
little bit wearing some oven mittens and an apron. Should be just under an hour until dinner, Miss Celestia, wasn't it?
Yes, that's it, darling. You couldn't tell Marissa to pop up to my room, could you? I could do with a chat with her. I know, bit of a quiet one.
Well, of course
I
I
want to hear
can.
about the bandits.
I quite understand. Oh, she puts down the...
Could listen at the door if you want.
She quickly moves onwards. And a short while later, you see her return to the kitchens and Marissa. You hear the sound of a door unlocking,
Yeah, I go back up to my room.
locking, and someone and Marissa. Oh, so in which case you don't hear that, but not surprising. The door knocks and opens.
Hello. Come in if you would.
Hello, of course. She steps in.
Sorry, a bit paranoid. Never know if there are spies for anyone these days, honestly.
Sounds like an interesting life you lead.
Yes, it is a bit. So, these bandits.
Mm-hmm.
You're wondering if you knew anything helpful. You know the area a bit better than us. You've been around for a bit longer.
Well,
You've been around for longer than Michael and Leah have as well. I mean,
what sort of assistance are you looking for?
well, for a start, wanted to talk through if you could spare any people. Wanted to talk through if you have any ideas of where her hideout might be. Any information about it, anything you know. We know nothing. We've met her on the road.
Well, all right. In terms of actual people we can spare, you understand there is a limit. I cannot spare anyone from the perimeter guard.
Oh, of course. I mean, if it's nothing, that's okay. Just information, you know.
At most, perhaps someone as a guide, but
That would be helpful.
one of the farm workers may know something. As for hideouts, that's a difficult thought. Most of the area for miles around is prairie, to some description or another. Perhaps if you had any thoughts about the kind of place that you would hide a large group of people?
I mean, she hid them all in a big illusion for a short time. But they must be living somewhere. Any kind of, I don't know, old clapped out buildings, any caves, any, I don't know.
Caves? Well, we're not really
Any
in
woods or...
hill country. There are a few
It's
copses
flat.
of wood. Snaps her fingers. There is the old Sandhauser quarry.
Quarry would be a pretty ideal place to hide a gang, wouldn't it? Sandhauser, was that?
Mm-hmm.
And what direction's that in? Do you think you could draw it on a map for me?
Sure thing. I think I have one in my office of the local area if you want me to get
Oh, we'll do that later. Let's do that at the end. Save moving you.
Fair enough. I'd say northeast of here, about 9 miles.
And, do you know anything about what actually happened with her in terms of the army? I'm just going to keep asking her really, really in-depth questions for this whole time. Like, should we... I feel like this is going to get dull, so...
You are. It's working, but give me a persuasion check to see how long you can keep her attention for.
That's an 18.
Okay. It persists for some time. Meanwhile...
Yeah.
The pair of you,
any in-depth questions.
The pair of you hear Celestia's door closed.
Right, game on.
Right, right. Keep an eye out for anyone coming, and I'll try and get this door open.
Okay, so the pair of you go down, step out onto the landing, and are you going to head down visibly or invisibly towards the studies?
Stealthily, but not
Stealthily, but
invisibly. Cause...
Stealth checks from both of you, please.
Right. Okay.
25, I think.
24.
Okay.
Nice.
You
Can't even see each other.
quickly and quietly step down. There's a brief moment where the door opens, and Hank, the orc, comes in, and you both slip behind the stairs for a moment. He walks straight past. Seems to be carrying a couple of plucked chickens. Where do you want these? Oh, I do declare that's not going to be ready in time for dinner. If you could just put those into the larder for me. Yeah, sure. You slip out while he walks past into the kitchens and out towards the pair of study doors. You can hear the muffled sound of Leah and Michael talking from within one of the doors. The larger, more impressive door.
Okay. Right, keep an eye out for anyone. I'm gonna look for traps.
Right, will do.
Roll an investigation check.
Do you want me to roll a perception? Or is that not necessary?
Scamp is the one investigating. But actually, no, give me a perception check. Yes, because you're keeping watch. You're lookout.
Natural 1, but lucky. It's not great, but that's a 13.
You kind of peer outside through a nearby window, like pulling the curtains a little bit, keeping an eye on the outside. No one seems to be approaching the house. Keep an ear out. For the moment, you seem undisturbed. Scamp, roll an investigation check.
Right. I'm gonna tides this because I feel like I need to. 9.
9. Okay. You do not discover any traps.
Okay, well, I can't see anything, but you never know, so... If you could be ready with the silence, just in case, because I've seen this go bad so many times.
Alright, and
we know this is not my strong point.
He gives a nod to the ambivalent octopus.
Ambivalent octopus readies, curls, and sort of shrugs a little.
Oh, have you done the object thing? Is
No,
it worth checking before we open a door?
That's exactly what he's about to do now. And because I don't think Corzin has actually cast this spell before, I'm going to take a moment to describe it.
Have
multiple times.
You cast it a few times. You cast it back in the in the palace it saw.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's very true.
You can still describe it for fun, though.
Okay. Well,
I do it all the time. It's definitely allowed.
Just having got the card now, I now notice that one of the material components for this is a forked twig. So I imagine what he's doing is he's taking out the forked twig and the shoal of fish spirits sort of cluster around it and then shoot off in the direction of the object, sort of leading him along a line.
They form just like a little shoal and one at a time, like tiny little minnows, stream in the direction of the office you are right in front of.
Right, looks like we're onto a winner.
Okay, I will try to unlock this door.
Give me a Thieves' Tools check.
18?
Okay. You feel of you managing to force the lock.
Okay, it's unlocked. I'm gonna stay here and keep watch.
Thanks.
And you can be invisible, because why not?
Thank you.
I'll cast invisibility. Greater invisibility.
Okay.
Corzin, you're invisible. What do you do?
Right. I am going to open the door slowly and see where the line of fish spirits is leading me.
I would like you to make a dexterity check, please.
Dexterity check, okay. Alright, that is a 14. If it's just a check.
It is just a check, and
Okay.
it wasn't quite high enough.
Damn
You open
it.
the door slowly, but
I
not
was
quite
about
slowly
to
enough.
say a thing. Never mind.
Sorry.
I
I
can't see him.
You can't see him. He's invisible. But it's enough that actually not that tiny bell on the inside of the door gives a ding, ding, ding as you pull it open. Upstairs, you hear as well, Celestia, just a faint ding, ding, ding. Marissa tilts her to the side. Do excuse me a moment. Let me get that map for you.
Sorry, that was me. I kicked the xylophone.
Roll a deception
Fuck it.
check.
Oh, that is good, though.
It's not terrible. 18.
There's a brief pause for a moment. Nevertheless, I'm just going to... I won't be a moment. You can come with me if you like.
You should probably stay here. We've got a lot to talk about. Charm person.
Okay.
I'm gonna get in trouble for this later, but fuck it.
Yeah. Oh, we could have. He's invisible. Never mind.
Okay, there's a brief moment of... Well, since it is you.
Thank you.
She calms down a little bit. Down below, you hear the bell ding, ding. And then from the next room over, just a momentary... Wait a minute. Where did you do that? I wouldn't... I'm not sure it's anything. You sure? Because I could have sworn I just heard the bell go off. No, it's fine. No, maybe I should just go outside and check.
I'm gonna start making small bell noises with thaumaturgy and playing with Jeffrey like it's a game and we're just in the corridor playing.
Okay, yeah. Michael
great.
pulls open the door.
Sorry,
Scamp.
did we disturb you?
No, it's all right.
Jeffrey's favourite game. Isn't it, Jeffrey?
Jeffrey does a little dance.
Oh.
So fucking weird.
Michael is looking a little stressed, goes, right. Of course, kids. If you wouldn't mind not playing just outside of the study, we're trying to do some, go through some papers in here.
I'm sorry. We'll go anywhere else.
Thanks. He gives you a little thumbs up and closes the door. By which time,
How's Leah looking? I'm just like, what?
Leah behind him is just gets slightly wide eyes, slightly staring daggers at Scamp, and then immediately assumes a calm expression as he turns around.
I also realised that with that ruse, I could possibly have got away with letting her go, but I've charmed her now. It's happened.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, never mind.
I was out of ways to make her stay, so here we are.
We're in so much trouble in an hour.
Oh, so much trouble.
It's alright, it's less than an hour till dinner.
Oh, God. Halfway through dinner, she's going to be like...
Okay, so, Corzin, you slip into a slightly narrow office with a desk with several drawers. The fish stream towards the third drawer down.
I make a beeline to it and open it.
Okay, you pull it. Locked.
Alright. Is it the sort of desk that would have a key that you keep in your pocket?
Yeah.
Right, okay. I'm gonna very quickly look around, but I'm fairly certain it won't be here.
Give me an investigation check.
Yeah. You never know. Alright, that's an 18.
Sadly, Marissa does not leave the key to her most valuable documents under the plant pot.
No, obviously not. Alright, is Scamp still within my line of sight?
I haven't actually gone anywhere.
Scamp is just
I'm
outside
just
the door.
I'm not making noises.
Yeah, Scamp has just stopped making dancing noises.
I'm gonna message Scamp using my sending stone. Scamp, there's another locked drawer here.
Coming.
I'll keep an eye out.
Okay, Scamp, what do you do?
I'm going to sneak into the room.
So, no, we never actually established that the door was closed. So you slip in.
I did
through
not close the door
so
after
you slip
me.
in through the already open
to be
door
fair, he's invisible.
without ringing the. I was just thinking whether or not the door closed after Corzin or not. It didn't. No, never said it did.
No, but
so
I'm saying if he's invisible, it doesn't need
doesn't
to
really
close the
matter.
door.
Yeah. So Scamp, you slip in as well, slightly bumping up against Corzin at one point.
Sorry.
You kind of look down. It's a brief moment where Corzin, you're kind of pointing to the drawer.
Which one is it?
It's the third one down.
Okay.
Okay. What do you do?
I'm gonna try to check for traps.
Okay.
Oh, that's a natural 20.
Excellent.
And a well-placed one.
Oh no.
Circle just a beautifully made little silvery band with actually flecked with slightly different colours of silver is around the lock. And you can just make out the shape and markings of something not unlike the glyph that was enchanted into Celestia's codpiece.
Hey. You say it was. I haven't used it yet.
It was enchanted into it.
This is true.
Okay. How do I get rid of this?
Is there a way of disabling it that I know of? Or contempt?
You could make an Arcana check.
I will do that. 7. No, 8. 8.
Well, it wasn't enough for a complete flub, so that's enough for you to know that without an ability, without just dispelling magic, which would be the easiest one, you can't spot an obvious weakness in the enchantment. You would guess that you know enough to guess that there's probably some sort of trigger to make it not go off when this is opened by the correct person.
Well, I have no way of getting rid of this.
It appeared the ring is set just around the little circular locking mechanism.
Wait a moment. Is the rest of the box or the drawer like secured in any way? Like the side of the cabinet? Could I just put a hole in this cabinet?
Conceivably.
Would that set it off?
With an 8 on Arcana, you don't know.
Does the drawer above it have a
It does
lock on it?
not. Does the drawer above it have a lock? Oh, the drawer above it does. The drawer below does, but the drawer above that does not.
Right.
So the top drawer, the first drawer down, is sans lock, and the 3 below it are locked.
Well, what I was thinking is if we... Scamp, if you can pick the lock above it, we'll just take the whole drawer out and reach in.
It will have a top to it. We'll still have to go through the wood.
Better than going through whatever that trap is.
How about we push the desk forward and go through the back?
All right.
If we're cutting through wood, we might as well just do it once rather than not worry about more locks.
All right. He's going to start trying to move
Maybe we cast silence before we do anything heavy and moving.
Yep, he will do that.
Saw through her fucking desk. Yeah.
Okay.
Silence the area around you. The little stream of fish cease as your concentration changes, and the little stream and the fish actually swirl around and halt in the air, freezing sound.
Okay.
I gesture that I'm going to stand at the door and watch for people coming.
Right, okay.
Because we now can't hear them.
Yep. Although the good news is you can now close the door without without the bell ringing. I will assume that you have centered this in such a way that the silence does not extend into Michael's office.
Yeah,
Yes.
I will
I was
mind
gonna
to
say.
Scamp suggesting
So
that they do
weird.
that, so they close the door.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Corzin's going to open his medical kit and take out, I assume, his bone saw and start trying to saw through the
You
back
have a
of the...
saw on you. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You
Yeah.
try and saw through the back. So this is I suppose this is a carpentry check. Let's call this a wisdom check, because you're
Okay.
not trained in carpentry.
Arguably sailoring, but no, you're right.
See, it's more focused around tying knots and so on. You weren't the ship's joiner, so...
No, true. Okay, so wisdom. Okay, that is an 11.
It's honestly kind of a botched job. You get the back off,
Doesn't have to be pretty, Scamp can mend it afterwards.
and you get the whole back off. The drawers, several contents of drawers fall out, and there is a silent but potentially deadly moment when a flash of light appears on the opposite side.
Huh?
Going towards whoever might be trying to open the door from the front, the thing from the front. But you are positioned directly behind it.
Yeah, so it does still
Flashbang.
go off, but it goes the other way.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, there's a few. Marissa's chair now has several smoking holes in it. But
so much
having
trouble.
quite roughly managed to saw the back of this off, you are able to retrieve the entire contents of the third drawer down.
Right, I
And
do
if
so.
you wish, there is also a small purse. There is also a small purse, a little sealed tin, as of a tobacco tin, and a bottle of Orcus Exo brandy.
I'm going to have a look in the tin, but if it just contains tobacco, I'm going to leave it.
Okay, you pull open the top. It appears to be full of tobacco.
Right, I
Loose
leave
leaf
it.
tobacco.
I'll just take the documents and go.
Okay, you replace the tin lid,
Yeah,
put it back in.
I
Take the documents.
gesture to Scamp to do what they can with the back of the...
Scamp, you look at and just see the absolute mess. You weirdly, you're going to need to spend a minute, and you can't cast a spell with vocal components inside silence, kind of muttering and gesturing outside in the little atrium a bit. If you want to fix this.
I've only got it as a ritual spell, don't I? So
Yeah,
it's
so
11
you're actually-
minutes.
Yeah.
So
oh,
no.
it's 11
No.
minutes.
I'm not
yeah.
spending
Time.
11 minutes fixing her desk
Well,
when
we're
you
in
fried her
so
chair.
much trouble.
Okay,
Fried her
fine.
chair! I don't think the desk's the issue.
Alright, fine. Right.
We fucked up here, guys.
So you are now standing. You step out of the room. You've got the documents.
Okay, putting the... I would at least put it back against the wall so it's not obvious.
Awkwardly put the
I feel like it's
back
like
of
leaving soot smears along the floor at this
Yeah, you're just you silently drag the desk back. There's marks on the flooring now as well from where you dragged the desk. It is very obvious that some tampering has gone on here. But you do replace it, and you close the door behind you. Again, the bell silently jangling.
All right. Well, that could have gone better, but we've got it.
We're in so much trouble. Celestia's going to be so mad we did something this daft.
Let's get out of here.
I mean, actually, odds are she's done something just as daft. We're probably fine.
Meanwhile, so, no, I mean, in terms of traps, the best we could do is the bear traps.
No, that's fine. Is she into any kind of traps? Any particular tactics she's used before?
Well, you said something about, sorry, I understand. I was talking to Oswald, and he said something about them coming out of a rock.
Talking to Oswald. Was Oswald talking to you? Says he forgets the stakes for a second.
So to speak, yes.
It's amazing, isn't it? Huh. Anyway, I don't know. I feel like I'm just asking weird questions about her personality.
I think it's about this point that you kind of run out of you're running out of steam, even for a person who is charmed.
I fire a message in the general direction of Scamp. Scamp, are you done yet? I'm running out of shit to say. Help. Also, I've done something stupid and we're in trouble.
We're in a lot of trouble, but yeah, we've got the things.
Double trouble. Really? Oh, shit. Where should I...
Are you alright? You seem to be staring into the middle distance.
Sorry, I've got a bit of a headache. I can only apologise. I message again. Can I send her back to her study now?
No, it's on fire.
It's on fire? Oh, shit.
No, it's
right,
smoking.
Your eyes just sort of widened.
I was exaggerating, sorry.
Sorry, I got a sending from my friends. They're all the way on the other side. I'm sorry, this is Ellie laughing. The other side of the grounds. And there's something really urgent you need to go over there for. They didn't say details, but they sounded really worried.
She's charmed, but still, which is why this is not with disadvantage, but roll the deception check.
It's a load of shit, it really is. Natural 20, fuck you!
On the other side of the grounds, did they say where?
Which bit looks like it's the biggest out of the window?
Go on, Zach. I mean, there's just fields.
That way. That bit over there.
I suppose if one of the... Wait, you're saying that... Did they mention one of the groundskeepers?
Yeah, I think they were having some trouble. They were asking for you.
Shit. All right. Do what you can to keep Michael and Mrs. Leodon safe.
Absolutely.
I need to... Damn it. I need to get something. She starts to leave.
The groundskeeper's in real trouble. You've got to go.
Fuck.
I could get it for you if you want.
No, it's just a little protection. We've got a gun in my office.
Here you go. Use mine.
Oh, well, that's very kind of you. Thank you.
Oh god, now she's armed.
Steps out and you see Marissa hurry down the stairs and out the front door.
Oh, fucking hell. Right, I get downstairs to find them.
You look down and you see...
Just on the way there, message to Leah, we're in trouble, we're in so much trouble in an hour and maybe sooner.
It's been like 10 minutes. Sawing that desk took time, during which time Corzin became visible again.
We're in so much trouble in 50 minutes and maybe sooner.
Right, okay. I'm talking things over with Michael, but if you have something, I could use that.
I think they do. Should we come in?
Please do.
We meet in the hallway
if I have
and
the
just
documents.
nod.
Yeah, the door opened. Ah, right.
Hello.
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 We can leave you to it if you like, but we don't have a lot of time, and it might just be better to start being open about things and just help each other out with however we deal with this mess.
Sorry, sorry, what's going on? Darling, we need to... There's a brief moment where as Leah says darling, she's like, doesn't quite know who she's referring to, then seems to focus on Michael. Michael, I mean, I was saying how I needed to go over those numbers with you. Yeah? With the tenancy agreement.
Come in and shut the door behind us.
Yeah.
Right. I need to talk you through some of this. This is going to take a little while. Right. Well, I guess we'd best begin.
At which point, Corzin
vaguely
will
quick.
hand over the documents in question. I think you might want to have a closer look at these.
Leah quickly flicks through them. Oh, what can I just need to skim them first. It's okay. Skims through them. Closes them up. Okay. Let's start. I'm going to need to lead you through this. This is going to take a bit of time. And over the next 10 minutes, Leah, with the skill and practice of someone who was raised by bankers.
Yeah,
this is one of her superpowers. Begins breaking down in quite simple terms, easy to understand, the way that the agreements have been structured. The exact details, when you realise, were actually deliberately left out of the latter tenancy agreements that Michael was signing off on. The main stacks. It was these because they all refer to a core document. This core document, the primary agreement. As Leah begins, the numbers just seem like numbers at first. They don't necessarily seem particularly scary. There's a vague sense of them being high in some cases, but not that high, until Leah begins to break down how these numbers add together. How there are actually hidden costs set throughout the whole thing, and what seems at first to be a very reasonable arrangement soon becomes a penurious cycle of debt. She talks about how unscrupulous bankers that she has known, sometimes known well, would use practices exactly like this, and in truth, this whole thing has the smell of a sort of criminally genius accountant about how it was organised. But by the end of it, Michael dryly swallows his throat. So you mean to tell me? You mean to tell me that without so much as a fucking whip or a chain, she would have bound us all up in ink? It's what you say. That's the short of it, yes. At this point you hear the door open. Right. There is, behind Michael, on the wall, what can only be described on a little trophy. It's like stand. What can only be described as an elephant gun. And as you see his eyes begin to just go red, he reaches up behind him. Don't know if Percy ever used this fucking thing. Actually, doesn't uncork at the back. This is not a breech-loaded weapon. Looks to you, Corzin.
He wordlessly hands him a charge. It'll probably be several for an elephant gun.
It's one of
I'm
your.
gonna just take the
it's one of
liberty
your-
of cleaning it out
Yep.
with prestidigitation if it's a bit old.
Yeah, just some dust
Very
comes
good
out the
idea.
end. It's designed to fit one of your blunderbuss slugs.
Happily.
That down with a bit of powder, and kicking the door open, you see Marissa in the hallway. Michael, sir, sorry, Michael, sir, why do you have Marissa? You would have put paper chains around everyone on this fucking farm. He levels the elephant gun at her. You would have made me a fucking slaver. Now, sir, she says, reaching behind her back, there's no time to panic. Looks around, sees all of you standing behind him. This is not. I realise that you may have. She looks forward. You can see, because you picked the lock. The door has actually swung open while you've been busy. So she looks
Closed it, but yeah.
No, you closed it, but just like the locking mechanism failed. It's just gently swung open in the time in which you've been away, and she can see the ruin of her desk. Starts putting things together.
You should probably come clean, darling. It's not even worth trying at this point. She's still charmed, so...
She's charmed, but she still has a sense of self-preservation.
Oh, absolutely.
Now listen, there's no need to be being hasty. No need to be fucking hasty, is there? She raises the gun and kind of levels it. Sir, please do not approach me with that fire.
Gun.
You doing
I'm
command?
gonna cast command, yeah.
Okay. Wisdom save. You see her fingers struggle, and she grabs her hand with the second hand, but she's already stepping back towards the door. Now, sir, you may have I appreciate that you might have some things maybe taken out of context. I finally had someone go through your so-called long-term tenancy agreement with associated extras, insurance provisions, and miscellaneous costs. And I'm not best pleased.
You might want to drop that gun. I'm going to try again, because I really think it would be better if she would.
She
Let
drops
me know
the gun
if it's close.
and
Oh, lovely.
puts her hands
Jeffrey,
up.
fetch!
Jeffrey reaches out, takes Celestia's gun back.
Thank you.
She holds her hands raised, and Michael isn't shooting, but he's marching her towards the door, and she is just backing up. Sir, listen, we needed to preserve the income of the estates. Bugger the income of the estates, you backstabbing little snake! Sir, you are in a position of wealth and power. There is much that you can do to say. I don't want to hear about fucking wealth and fucking power. If I really have power, I choose how to fucking wield it. I don't need you whispering poison into my bloody ear. It's not poison, sir. I'm just trying to advise you. I have taken enough of your advice. I have left enough fucking details to you. So why don't I make one, he licks his teeth, executive decision on my own. Cocks the back of the flintlock, and as she falls back off the steps, straight onto her ass, but onto her back, looking up. You're fired. Get the fuck off my estate. And if I ever see you again, the groundskeepers will have you. She looks up, mouth open, and then scrabbles to her feet and runs.
Oh, that's.
I'm going to run after her for a second.
Okay, you start running after her.
Um,
Michael rolls.
I put up a finger to him. What would be the wording for this? What did that dwarf look like? Was it her employer?
Roll an insight check.
idea. 14.
Hard to say. With the 14, it was clear that the dwarf was the more powerful figure, but you can't be sure whether that means she was her employer or something else.
Okay, it's actually, I've just realised I don't need to run after her to do this because it's within 60 feet, so I don't
Yeah,
run.
I'll say that you get it as
stay
she's
where
running.
I am. And I just shout after her. Do not report this to the dwarves that gave you the order to give Michael the house. And I'm going to cast Geas,
Yeah.
which I've had for a hot minute, not told any of you.
You say that, and as you call it out, there's a moment where the rainbow spirit flares around you. Flickers of fire run through it.
Yeah, it's like desperation, and it just like burns up.
And the colours peel away from the rainbow spirit until a strand of just dark purple lashes out and gags around her mouth. And you hear around her throat. You see her reach her throat for a moment, look back, and runs. The rainbow spirit shudders for a moment and then rejoins back together.
So it looks to have taken.
It looks to have taken. You see her running into the night.
Okay, I think I bought us some time.
How long?
Do I have a sense? I'll let Ellie know, but...
You do have a sense, yes. Just some instinct from it as the rainbow spirit flutters around your shoulders.
About a month.
Well, that's
Hey.
fucking terrifying, but actually useful. Alright,
Yeah.
She is gashed.
Michael, I am...
Sure I liked that one.
No.
I am so sorry you had to find out like this, but, I think it's,
Fucking hell. Oh, you're my life and my livelihood, eh?
Nah.
No, you don't know it was a damn thing.
No, this
Think
was...
I made the wrong choice not shooting her?
No,
Oh, I would have liked to ask her some questions, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure we'd have got particularly useful answers.
As much as she might have deserved it, killing an unarmed person,
No.
not something you want to be doing.
Shakes his head. I don't think... I barely know how to use one of those little pea shooters, let alone this thing. It was mostly just for the effect.
Good
well,
effect.
it had a very good effect.
Great.
Yeah.
It's sort of magnificent, actually.
If you want a lesson in how to actually shoot it, I offer my services. But
I
honestly,
would definitely appreciate that. I'm kind of learning... I've been learning a bit from the groundskeepers, but I feel like... I mean, look at how many you have. You clearly know what you're doing with them.
I seem to have got a collection going. It's
I mean, in a month you might have a problem.
In a
We've
month...
got a month to do something about it.
Maybe it's time I take up that governor's offer. If she's connected... You seem to think she's connected with powerful people. Maybe I need some powerful people on my side too. Michael, what? I don't think you realise this. You own a significant portion of this colonial state. You are a person of power. Oh, shit. Well then, it might be mixed, but would you say we can call this a victory?
for now, I think so.
Yeah.
All right, a victory it is. Yenna, bake a cake.
Yes.
Let's celebrate.
I like you.
I do
I like
declare
you
I
a
love
lot.
cake.
Oh, I do declare, I shall prepare a most victorious cake. Most victorious sponge cake.
It was a pun, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise.
What? I don't understand why that annoys me so much.
And on that cheerful note, as you unsteadily make your way towards dinner and dessert, we're going to leave it there for tonight. Thank you all very much for listening. Thank you all very much for playing. Ellie has a terrifying little rock with a mouth on it that looks like it's screaming. Thank you, little rock, for coming along for this horrifying little ride. Thank you all very much for playing. Thank you all very much for listening. And farewell from all of us here at Flintlocks and Fireballs. Fair seas and natural 20s. She tried to rule me while she served. A sacking's the least she deserved.
But now she's found I've stilled her tongue. With bond she never can outrun.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.